This is a KMVT sports presentation.
There's the net at Mountain View High School. Andre Polizzi and George Devine here tonight at Mountain View as KMVT Channel 6 Sports proudly presents high school volleyball, a matchup in the Santa Clara Valley De Anza division, as tonight the Mountain View Spartans, there they are, with a record of 14-5, 0-2 in league, host the Los Altos Eagles with a mark of 12-4. There's the visiting Eagles, and 4-0 in league. And this should be a pretty good matchup as we take a look at the De Anza division standings. Los Altos on top, a perfect 4-0. And Mountain View there in fifth at 0-2. Lynbrook and Monte Vista bringing up the rear. And of course, the always tough St. Francis Lancers and Los Gatos Wildcats right there in the middle with Palo Alto as well. George Devine, a matchup of a couple of good teams. Mountain View's record in league a little bit deceiving. They played a couple of tough matches, but either team perhaps could win tonight, and Mountain View with the home court advantage against an undefeated Los Altos team.
Los Altos playing their best volleyball of the season. We saw that standings graphic a moment ago. The two losses that St. Francis and Los Gatos have between them, both coming against Los Altos at Los Altos. So a tough game tonight for the Eagles in that they've got to win on the road, something they've only done once this year in league play. They won over at Lynbrook last Tuesday. They're going to try to go to a perfect 2-0 and a perfect 5-0 here tonight.
George, you were talking to me earlier before our broadcast tonight about how Los Altos likes to use kind of a 7-person rotation, get 7 players out there, 6 starting, and just bring in 1 more. Can they keep up that kind of pace for a whole season, just using 7 players most of the time?
Well, they did it very well against a couple of deep teams in St. Francis and Los Gatos. A lot of our KMVT viewers remember that. Becca Signs seems to get stronger for Paul Lyles and company as the match goes on. Lisa Radin, the freshman setter, is always tough to handle, and Steve Sananastasio, the Mountain View head coach, has got a big task ahead of his club tonight.
Steve Sananastasio there, and is assisted by Dave Couch, who is there next to him. Paul Lyles, assisted by Jeff Warnock. And we're set for action. There you see Ken Jeffers up top, our lead official tonight. And the down official for this contest is Jim Spencer.
So right now they're checking over the service rotation, but I'm noticing the Los Altos lineup a little bit different tonight, Andre. Christine Cerventi, number 12, out on the floor getting a start. Somebody who hasn't seen too much floor time lately. Usually the regular bunch of Ripito, Tanaka, Signs, Radin, Winters, and Harrington, with Ozzy Azatyar coming in as all you'll see for Paul Lyles and company.
Well, to serve to start the match is the young freshman setter, Lisa Radin. Freshman wearing number 5, and she serves to start this match, and Mountain View setting up the return. Here comes Radin for Los Altos, trying to find Becca Signs, and into the net, and that was Christine Cerventi right there, and Mountain View takes over side out.
That situation right there where Becca Signs was out of position, you're only going to see her hit the ball too much when she's on the far side and has a clear lane to the net.
Becca Signs, perhaps the player to watch for Los Altos. She's very good. The drive saved by Mountain View. Now the Spartans will score the first point of the match. The home team with a good drive there, and it's 1-0 Mountain View here in game 1.
Situation right there where Signs was playing back a little bit too far. Right now in the Spartan rotation, or in the Eagle rotation, she's in the back row, so don't expect too much on the net from her. She's going to have to solidify her game digging.
A good deep serve. Los Altos unable to return it, and it's now 2-0 Mountain View.
Spot right here for the Spartans, Andre, where you want to get a good run, especially at home, to start things out. You don't want to surrender the serve.
Liz Farmer doing the serving, 5'4" junior. Plays setter and outside hitter, and doing some good serving here in the first service attempts for Mountain View. Drive a moment ago by Kristen Winters, and now Signs with a bump, set by Radin. And a drive and in. Kristen Winters brings it down, side out Los Altos. Kristen Winters, a good-looking senior player. Good drive right there by her.
Winters did a very nice job splitting the floor. She went to the side of the net, forced the ball to the opposite side forces the defense to look at the ball a lot differently as it crosses. It's like facing a curveball in baseball.
Winters with the serve and a dink, nicely done. Annie Teep, a 5'10 sophomore and a good-looking player, young middle blocker, and Mountain View has it back side out. They lead 2-0 here in game one. Served by Katie Azaparty, 5'8 senior. Drive by Winters, a little bit long, and it's now 3-0 Mountain View. Mountain View has the first 3 points of the match, and this is their second service game of game one. Low sinking serve and a nice save. And now a bad drive off the knuckles of the fist by Becca Signs that time. A rare complete mishit by Signs. It's 4-0 Mountain View.
When Becca has her timing on, you've really got to watch out for her because she doesn't make too many of those errors. And when she's got her timing down, expect a 20-kill night.
The timing will get down as the match goes on. Signs' bump goes backwards, and Los Altos has to free ball it over with a couple more bumps. Another drive by Annie Teep, and it's 5-0 Mountain View. Teep is playing the Becca Signs role for her team, even though she's more of a middle blocker than outside hitter. Here's the replay.
Take a look right there. Right again, Mountain View catching Los Altos, playing too far up. You know, it's one of those things you talk about in baseball or in football. On a long fly ball, on a punt, it's better to play back and come forward. It's the same thing in volleyball. It's much easier to take a step or two forward, and I'm sure Paul Wiles is saying that right now to his club, than it is take a step backward.
Annie Teep, 5'10 sophomore. And one of the good young players here in the Central Coast section. You haven't heard too much about her, but could be stepping forward tonight, and tallest player on her team. She's had a good dink and a good shot just a few moments ago. 5-0 Mountain View here in game one. Mountain View coming off a couple of league losses. They also lost to Los Altos in the first round of the playoffs of the San Jose City Classic tournament during the last weekend in September. So these teams have already played. That was a 2 out of 3 match. This, of course, 3 out of 5 in league play. Here's Signs, and a drive saved by Mountain View's Azaparty. Signs bumping again. Rayton set back to Becca Signs. Shot off the touch, but Mountain View keeps it alive. Free ball attempt over by Leschuk, no good. And side out Los Altos.
Well, I'll tell you right now, with Signs playing the outside, you've got a Zatyar on to serve, make it Tanaka on to serve. We're going to see Hala Pormon come up front. So Paul Lyle's trying a little bit of a different lineup tonight than we've seen the last couple of games that he's been successful with.
Well, we'll also see if he sticks with it.
But what I was saying about Becca Signs being on the far side, she's getting into a groove. Expect some kills out of her right now.
Served by Karen Tanaka. Ball into the net. Mountain View takes it back over on a side out. Christy Leschuk playing good for Mountain View, getting that one over, and Los Altos unable to return it. There's Christy Leschuk, 5'9 senior outside hitter. Back to serve. Coming in is Quinn Chen, a 5'8 junior. Chen with a hard service, and Signs able to corral it. And now Signs off of the touch of Quinn Chen, who wound up serving that ball side out, and Becca Signs with a big kill to get her team the ball back, down 5-0.
What happened with Chen right there was that she didn't get down, she stayed up. And the only way you can defend against a hard hit ball like Becca Signs just produced is to get down and use some leverage with your knees and your elbows.
Ozzy Zatyar to serve. Took out Liz Ripito. Drive over by Leschuk, and now Los Altos trying to save it. And a good block right there in the middle by Courtney Rose, a 5'9 junior. She knocked it down, side out Mountain View.
Neither of these teams have very dominant blocking, but Courtney Rose right there with good timing, even though it was out of your picture at the end. Timed her jump perfectly, and that's the key. Nobody on the floor for either of these clubs above 6 feet. That's where you see a lot of clubs really dominate the net.
Served by Jody Antipus, 5'7 junior setter. Here's Signs, and saved by Mountain View. Now Mountain View punches it over. Right into set, sets it in the middle for Pormon, and 4 hits the call. This will be a side out.
Now signs to serve. Let's see if she throws in the jump serve right here.
She stays stationary, but a good hard serve. Still 5-0 Spartans. Punch by Leschuk goes into the net, and Los Altos is on the board. It's now 5-1.
Becca Signs, I had a chance to talk to her a couple of matches ago about jump serve as opposed to stationary serve. She started experimenting back during the summer with the jump serve. Paul Lyles on occasion will give her the green light to use it. He doesn't right there.
Mountain View just saves this one after Signs with a hard serve. Radin cross court for her hitter Winters. Winters' shot was in, and it's a point for Los Altos, their second in a row. It's now 2-5.
Winters really had the masking tape on that one and painting the line.
A couple of young lines ladies here tonight working in the corners to assist Jeffers and Spencer. And a drive knocked down by the Spartans. Oh, what a beautiful shot that was. And the Spartans get the ball back side out.
Christy Leschuk comes right here. You see her come out of where she wasn't in the picture. She knocks it across the court, much like Becca Signs has done for Los Altos tonight.
Christy Leschuk having a good first game. Here's Radin. They thought she was going to set it, but she shot it over, and Mountain View saved it. Signs with the bump in the back. Winters again. Her ball is saved. Now Los Altos going to have to free ball it over, and instead Winters hits it too hard out of bounds. That's a point, Mountain View. And now it is 6-2. Leschuk. Now here's Winters, shot blocked, and Mountain View gets it again. That'll be point Mountain View. It's now 7-2.
I'll tell you, Courtney Rose again with very good timing up front. As I said a moment ago, neither of these teams is a very dominating team on the net. They have to be a smart team on the net.
7-2 in favor of Mountain View here in game one. And a service ace, Christy Leschuk, first ace of the match. And the Spartans rolling here in game number one. It is now 8-2.
I'll tell you, Los Altos very confused of receiving that serve from Mountain View. Let's see if Leschuk can do it again.
Radin for Winters, and Winters' shot is saved. Free ball over by Azaparty, and Los Altos can't bring it back. A point for Los Altos, and a timeout on the floor to Paul Lyles. His club is down 10-2 here in game number one. There you see the score there. Watching KMVT, Andre Polizzi along with George Devine and Paul Lyles getting his troops together.
Paul Lyles also spending his second of 2 timeouts in this first game. He wants to restore order before it's all is lost. But as I mentioned, you know, the 2 biggest wins for his club this year coming at home. And tonight a big test. Mountain View hungry coming in here at 0-2. You know, they're looking for a win. Los Altos starting to hit cruise control, trying to avoid the upset. Take a look at the CCS rankings. This is as of last week. A new set will come out tomorrow. But Del Mar, Midi, SH Prep up top. You look down in 4th place. Everybody's tied up. Los Altos, Los Gatos, and St. Francis.
We have a scoring change during that last timeout. It is now 10-2 in favor of Mountain View. Mountain View trying to make it 11. Here's a drive. Down linesman Jim Spencer got together with the official score, and they changed the score during that last point. A shot by Los Altos is in, and it is side out Los Altos. So the score is 10-2 in favor of the Mountain View Spartans. Los Altos back with the ball and making a substitution as coming back in Christine Cerventi, and she will serve. There you see the corrected score as the officials made an official change. Added a point. That was back from the 4 hits call is when that happened. A hard drive by Winters. Mountain View can't save it. And Los Altos picks up a point. Well, now wait a minute. Ken Jeffers isn't sure. And now he'll agree. The down linesman, Jim Spencer, called for the point. Ken Jeffers threw up his hands, wasn't sure, but then he agreed and gave the point. So it's 3-10 now. Low sinking serve, saved by Mountain View. Here's Raiden setting for Karen Tanaka, who dumps one over. Raiden back set for Winters. Winters pushes it over, and a beautiful shot off the touch, and Los Altos scores again. It is now 4-10.
I'll tell you, Kristen Winters is somebody, if she really hits the ball hard, can break glass. Right there, she wouldn't even have rattled glass, but she put eyes on it, and that's the key.
Another hard drive by Katie Azaparty. Los Altos working it back over, and Mountain View with the bump back. Way too hard off the fists of Quinn Chen. And Los Altos scores again, 3 in a row. It's now 5-10. Game 1, league play, Santa Clara Valley, De Anza Division. Mountain View looking for their first league win of the season. Another hard shot by Azaparty off the touch. And a side out for Mountain View. Mountain View bringing in Annie Teep, who had a couple good serves earlier, and Mountain View scored the first couple points of the match. Signs with the bump, Raiden with the set, over to Kristen Winters in the corner, and it is out. Point Mountain View. That one looked pretty darn close to being in, George.
Kristen Winters very frustrated. She thought it should have been in, just not enough angle on it.
Another serve by Courtney Rose. Raiden back set for Winters. Winters pushes it again. That worked a few minutes ago. That time Mountain View saved it. Azaparty. Now Raiden cross court to Tanaka, and Tanaka's shot is down side out Los Altos. And coming back is Liz Ripito.
So Ripito will come on for his that yard and beef things up on the far side. That's something that Los Altos has done well tonight. He's hit on the outside. Just where they've lost points is on their blocking, and they've made a couple of unforced errors.
11-5 here in game 1. You see the KMVT box providing you the score there. Hard drive a moment ago by Annie Teep, but Los Altos saved it. Now a lefty shot by Antipus. Winters again right into the net. Side out Mountain View. Kristen Winters needed that ball a little bit higher.
Yeah, Winters hasn't timed her last couple of attacks on the outside as well as she should. We'll take another look right here. And you see she gets too on top of the ball. She doesn't get behind it. The trick is to get behind it. Not on top and not underneath.
Missile serve by Coltna Mistry. Los Altos with a good save a moment ago, and that one is in. Point Mountain View. It's now 12-5, and let's see another look.
Take another look right here. You'll see after a nice save by Winters, Los Altos caught up in the net, nobody back to play it.
You saw where the ball was, though, as that replay froze right just in front of the back line in. Good call. Another back line shot. And they're going to talk about this one. That was another deep shot, real close to the line, and let's see what they decide. There's Ken Jeffers, our head ref tonight. Ken does a lot of basketball. And it's a point Mountain View. They rule it out. 13-5 now. Mountain View 2 points away from winning game 1. Serving again, Liz Farmer. Los Altos free balls it over. Double hit. Side out Los Altos.
I'll tell you, anytime you go up with two hands, you got to watch out for doing that. You got to be very wary of doing it. Now, Winters to serve, one of the better servers for Paul Lyles and company.
Winters a hard missile. Los Altos with no aces in this match. Mountain View has one. Neither team with a service error yet. Good serving in game 1. Here's Signs, and the ball is down. Point Los Altos. It's now 6-13 here in game 1.
I'll tell you, Becca Signs, if she keeps on doing that, it won't be 6-13 much longer.
Another hard missile shot by Winters. And again, Azaparty knocks it down. And Mountain View side out. And Katie Azaparty, 5'8" senior, with a hard shot. Here's a look at it, George.
Take a look right here. Lisa Radin was in position but didn't have a good angle to play the ball. Tried to lift it, didn't have her body down enough.
Azaparty, deep serve. Signs bumps it. Radin sets it back to Signs. Signs with a laser. And Los Altos side out. And that's the best of Becca Signs right there. She gets it over to Radin. Radin gives it back to her, and Signs puts it in the middle of the floor.
Take a look right here, and that's patented Becca Signs. That's one of the reasons why Los Altos is 3-0 coming into this match tonight, is that Becca Signs has been eating things up from the outside.
Cervente out. That's Christine Cervente. Hala Pormond in. Serving, Karen Tanaka. And Leschuk's shot is into the net, and it's a point for Los Altos, their second in a row. 7-13, Los Altos on a mini comeback.
I'll tell you, Hala Pormond right there with a good shadow block right off the bench.
Leschuk, good shot, Christy Leschuk. And it is a side out Mountain View. Paul Lyles, concerned, his team down 13-7 here in game one, and a smiling Christy Leschuk, happy with her last shot.
Yeah, Christy did a nice job right there, splitting the floor, got a good angle and played it properly.
There you see back there, serving Annie Teep. Signs his bump went into the net, but Radin saved it. Now Mountain View has to save one. Pormon, Kristen Winters. Ball outside the antenna. What are we going to have here? We're going to have a point, Mountain View. That one went outside the antenna, off the Los Altos touch. Game point number 1 for Mountain View. 14-7, there it is, game point. And Annie Teep will try and serve it out. Low sinking serve. Los Altos saves it. Here comes Signs. And out, point and game 1 for the Mountain View Spartans. They win game 1 by a score of 15-7. So a very good first game for Mountain View. Andre Polizzi along with George Devine. You're watching high school volleyball here on KMVT Channel 6. A very warm night here in the city of Mountain View High School. Andre Polizzi along with George Devine, our producer director, Lazarus Sargenides, putting things together tonight for KMVT Channel 6 Sports.
Well, I'll tell you, the adjective I would have used, Andre, is not warm, but very hot. Very warm evening tonight. Now, it's just, we were talking about during the break, perhaps the reason Paul Lyles going with a different look tonight and more players, perhaps worried about the heat affecting his Eagle Ball Club as they come in tonight. It was over 90 degrees when we started tonight, just after 7 o'clock. It's even warmer inside of the gym. So if you ever wanted to go to Boston Garden in June, well, it's a lot like Chester AWOL Gym in October on a night like this.
Mountain View scored 10 of the first 12 points, jumped out to a 10-2 lead, never looked back. Los Altos with a mini run to make it at 1 point 13-7, but Mountain View with the last 2 points to win 15-7 in game 1. They've switched sides, and Mountain View will serve beginning game 2 with Liz Farmer, 5'4" junior, doing the serving. Los Altos looking to bounce back and even up this match and try and keep their 4-0 league record perfect to 5-0. There's Paul Lyles, his club down 1 game. Paul, one of the good young coaches in a very well-coached division, the De Anza division.
And an even newer coach right there, Steve Sananastasio, in his first season.
And eventually, perhaps, we'll be adding Coach S's name among the great coaches in the Santa Clara Valley. Drive by Becca Signs. Mountain View somehow finds a way to save it. Sent over by Azaparty. She's been doing a lot of that, sending over, saving balls tonight. Cross court set by Antipas. Azaparty looking for a touch. No call, and instead it is side out Los Altos. That ball out. Mountain View thought they had a touch, but no call. Los Altos will try and score first here in game number 2 with a serve by Karen Tanaka. Mountain View bumping it around. As a party sends it over again. That's a familiar refrain so far. Here's Signs with a dip. Saved by the Spartans. As a party again, and this one is long. Side out, or rather point Los Altos, not side out, Mountain View. As the shot was long by Mountain View, and Los Altos, their first lead in this match, 1-0 in game 2. Deep serve by Los Altos. And now it's in on the Los Altos side. Mountain View with a good little side shot, and they take the side out.
Annie Teep with a very smart block right there against Becca Signs. Becca Signs, a player you're not going to fool that often.
Thought she was going to go for the jump serve there, but as a party stayed stationary. Signs with a punch over. Leschuk's drive saved by Los Altos, and a punch into the net by Winters. It's a couple mishits for her tonight. Again, getting too high on the ball, as George pointed out earlier. And it is 1-1 as Mountain View picks up their first point here in game 2.
Yeah, Kristen's timing's a little off right now. We have a delay on this serve, and now they're going to let it go. So something out of order.
Service error as a party with a low serve, went wide of the net. That is the first service error of the match for either team. Mountain View has the only ace.
Yeah, if you notice as Ozzy Azatyar comes on, look at the ribbons and the hair of the Los Altos players. All the players have matching plaid ribbons. There's a story behind that, and I'll tell you as we go on tonight.
We wait with bated breath. First the play, and Los Altos can't save it. Lost by Karen Tanaka. Signs couldn't get to it. And a side out for Mountain View.
Let's stay with the story for a second. Basically, I asked Ozzy Azatyar and Becca Signs about it, and they said a lot of teams wear their team colors in terms of ribbons in their hair. They just wanted to look different. They wanted to look kind of silly to distract the opposing teams.
I believe I said side out Mountain View. It was actually point Mountain View, making it 2-1, and now Los Altos taking it on the side out on a good shot. 2-1 in favor of the Spartans. Los Altos, Becca Signs serving. And now we're going to have a scoreboard check again. Remember, this happened in game 1. They're trying to determine whether or not there was a point earlier. Earlier, they changed it from 9-2 to 10-2 because on the 4-hit play in the middle of game 1, there was a point scored, and they didn't put it up on the scoreboard. And now they are sure that it is still 2-1 in favor of Mountain View, and so that's what we'll stick with. Los Altos bump, and they get it over. A good underhand bump there. She really had to put it at an angle at that bar at the net, and a great shot by Leschuk. Side out Mountain View, Christy Leschuk. Boom. That's about all you can say for that shot.
I'll tell you, where's your radar gun right here? Watch what Christy Leschuk puts on this ball. That's hard. That is a hard hit. That's traffic school for some people.
Jody Antipas serves it into the net. Second service error for Mountain View. And side out Los Altos. Going way over to the left side of her court and serving. That last one was Harrington. And it is down on the Los Altos side, side out Mountain View.
We've had 4 straight unconverted service points by these clubs. Sometimes happens in the second game of a match. Things become unglued on both sides.
And remember, on a hot night. Mountain View trying to save this one, a couple of miss hits, but they get it over. Here's Radin, back set. Winters shot saved somehow by Leschuk. Mountain View free balls it over. Radin again, another back set. Winters again, and this time it's down. Winters got that one down. And Los Altos comes right back with the side out. The teams continue to change the ball back, and Christy Winters, George, 2 back sets in a row, both laser shots. The second one got to the floor.
Hit stand.
Cannot stand the coach like he's doing right now.
Apparently the coaches here being told they can't stand up. This is a rule that I'm totally unaware of. I know in basketball, the coaches are only allowed to stand up on substitutions and after scores. I did not know that rule existed in volleyball, but Paul Lyles has been told he's got to sit. Steven Santastazo, as you can see, taking a Mike Piazza position in front of his own bench.
If they are.
There you see on the left, Jim Spencer, the down official, looking up to our head linesman, Ken Jeffers.
Yeah, they're supposed to let you know.
And they're debating the finer points of the sitting position versus the standing position. And as we said, a warm night. George says hot night here at the Mountain View Gym, and some fans trying to find a way to make it a little less bearable. No, a little more bearable. You wouldn't want to make it less bearable.
Well, I'll tell you, you get in the broadcasting business, Andre, and you want to do sports. You really want to be a sportscaster. Or if you get in the business, you really want to be the entertainment editor or the guy who does, the reports from Washington. Sooner or later, you do weather. Whether you like it or not, you do weather.
Whether or not there's air conditioning.
We're doing weather tonight.
Los Altos saved that one. I don't know how Harrington got it over. And now Mountain View knocks it down. Katie Azzopardi again, the victimizer. She knocks down Los Altos and they take a side out. We're gonna have another Mountain View substitution.
Take a look here on the replay. See a nice job done by the Spartans, putting eyes on the ball. Los Altos slow to react.
There you see the back of Azzopardi there, number 2 in your picture a moment ago. Winters again, Mountain View saves again. Here's Azzopardi one more time, signs bumps. Radin over, Winters tries again, hits the antenna. That is a point for Mountain View. It's now 3-1 and the first point in about the last 5 minutes of this match.
First point in the last 6 serving opportunities to be exact.
George Devine, famous for his statistics, and we thank him for that one right there. Getting it down to the total amount of plays. Spartans free balling it, having trouble getting it over, and there's 4 hits. Side out Los Altos as Mountain View follows up a good point play with 4 hits.
And now Kristen Winters, one of the better servers for Paul Lyles, is back behind the line. Not the spot where you want to surrender service.
Winters serve looking good. They almost didn't get it back, and instead Mountain View is going to take, no! Los Altos got it back, I don't know how. Leschuk saves that one, which would have been out. Both teams saving balls that would have gone out. And into the net goes Ripito with her shot. And it is side out Mountain View, a crazy point. A couple of balls saved that shouldn't have been saved, and then Ripito put it into the net.
I'll tell you, a very wild sequence into the seats right there. A nice free ball save. You see Leschuk was over the line when she played it. And the breaks fall the right way as we're going to see it go in the net right here. Mountain View coming out on top of a very wild sequence.
Steven Santastazo.
The Mount Everest of names, Santastazo.
And Paul Lyles right there. Both of them now, as you called it, in the Mike Piazza position. Which I guess is kind of a compromise. They're not sitting and they're not standing, they're squatting.
Looks like we're having another sidebar over here.
Just turning into an episode of Law and Order.
Or my other favorite, Court TV. Just waiting for that graphic on who owes who.
Oh, very nice. Liz Farmer, her team up 3-1 and on serve. Up, double hit. A double hit by Annie Teep after Antipas was getting ready to set for her. And Los Altos gets it back side out. 1-3 still here in game 2. Number 1 went fast. Game 2 has slowed down tremendously. And that's because, as George pointed out, frequently the teams on serve are not scoring. Azzopardi again. Los Altos can't save it. Winters gave it a heck of a try, but Mountain View gets it back side out. And Azzopardi having a very good match.
Well, 9 of our last 10 service opportunities in this game for both clubs unconverted.
And here we go again. Conference corner time.
Okay, five is the setup for this. So it's going to be between 9 and 6. Okay. Okay. And then he's
Here,
saying
getting
that,
a good mic account of this going
how
on.
they're lined up, how I see it, is 9 and 6. Like 9's back here and 6 is on the front row. And then 5 is standing even with 6. He's saying she has to be inside of 6
I believe, George, they're discussing who substituted for who and who's in the right rotation.
on the receive. So, but I'm telling him, as long as she's even with
Paul
that
Lyles
player,
wants to know what's going
they're
on.
all right. He's saying she has to be inside of that player.
Somebody get Paul an audio feed.
Let's play right.
Does she have to be inside, or
Well, if they're even, if they're flat.
We're at 3-1 here in Game 2. Mountain View leading Game 2. They lead 1 game to none. Jeffers and Spencer getting things finally straightened out again. And play will continue with Mountain View serving. As a party who last touched the ball will touch it again as she starts play one more time. A low laser, and Los Altos barely able to save it, but a good job by the Eagles. They're not going to save this one. Leschuk, a missile. 4-1 Mountain View, and just the second service point in the last 11.
I'll tell you, a tough sequence and a tough ball to handle from Christy Leschuk. Get its license number while you can.
As a party again. Signs, Raiden, back to Signs. A good combination, but Mountain View's there for it. And a drive knocked down by Teep. Annie Teep with a point, suddenly 2 in a row. 5-1 in favor of Mountain View. Paul Lyles stops play.
Paul Lyles, a very wise stoppage right here. He sees what's happening after a series where 9 of 11 points were unconverted. He sees Mountain View starting to step away from the pack, and he wants to put a stop to that.
Boy, this way this one's going, George, you wouldn't think that that man's team is 4-0 in league play. The Los Altos Eagles, victory-wise, defeated Monte Vista. They also defeated St. Francis. That took 4. The Monte Vista match went 3 straight. They defeated Lynbrook, also in 4, George. And most recently, just within the last week, they defeated Los Gatos in straight 3. And you know something a little more specific about that match.
I'll tell you that Los Gatos match was a good one. 13, 6, and 12 were the scores in that game, in that match. Did a very nice job. The Wildcats did not play well. The Eagles played one of their better matches. I thought they played a better all-around match against Los Gatos than they did against St. Francis.
We've got Mountain View's 2 losses, too. We'll give you those when we get a moment here. As a service error by Mountain View, that's their 3rd of the match. They have the only ace. Los Altos, no aces, no errors in this match. All their serves have gone over, but none for aces and none out.
I'll tell you, Los Altos is in a must-score position right here. They can't let Ozzy Azatyar serve once and then rotate out. They've got to score on this point.
At least they got the ball back. A left-handed shot by Antipas, and Los Altos a moment ago with the save. Here's Leschuk again. That looked like it's off the touch. Yes, it is. And side out Mountain View. They didn't score on that service opportunity.
Either Raiden or Harrington touched it. Otherwise, it goes wide.
It was a very hard shot and right off the hands. In to serve for Mountain View, Quinn Chen, 5'8" junior. We saw a couple good serves from her earlier, back in game 1. Here's Signs, and Signs misses. Point Mountain View. It is now 6-1, and Becca Signs a little off tonight, at least so far.
Well, Los Altos as a group is off tonight. Not just Becca to blame.
Winters into the net with the shot. Point Mountain View. They've scored 7 in a row. And Los Altos, after taking a 1-0 lead, has seen Mountain View storm back with 7 in a row. Here's another look at that. Winters, boom, in the net.
Bad timing by Winters again.
Los Altos with a low shot. Here's Leschuk. Boom. That's twice in the last 5 points that have been scored in this game, too. As it's now 8-1 that Leschuk has really sent Los Altos diving for a ball they couldn't get to.
Well, I'll tell you, those Los Altos seeing those Mountain View taillights get smaller and smaller.
8-1 here in game 2. Los Altos trying to get the serve back, and they will off the face of Quinn Chen. Ouch. Quinn shaking that off. She's going to have a raspberry on her nose tomorrow. But Los Altos gets it back. They send their best player back to serve, and it's 1-8.
I'll tell you, she's lucky she still has a nose. She's still touching it. Becca Signs in the serving. That's the guilty party on why Quan Shen's going to have a sore bugle tomorrow.
Antipus to Leschuk off the touch of Signs, and Mountain View gets it back right away, side out, and Los Altos getting only one serving opportunity every time. Jody Antipus, the setter, now serving. High looper serve. Winters bumps. Raiden back to Winters. Mountain View up in the rafters with that one. Here's Leschuk with a drive, and Signs can't get it. We've heard that before. Leschuk beats Signs. And Los Altos is being beaten by Mountain View here in game 2, 9-1. Look at this drive.
Being
up in the
beaten
rafters.
by Christy Leschuk, to be exact, right there. Playing a great game on the outside right now.
9 in a row by Mountain View. Make it 10. That is out. 10-1 Mountain View. Paul Lyles not using his second timeout. Well, maybe he's going to right here. Second timeout of game 2 for Paul Lyles. That's the max, as the Spartans have run 10 in a row off against Los Altos. And while we have a moment, let's take a look here. And we'll tell you that Mountain View's 2 league games previously, they were defeated by Los Gatos 15-8, 15-1, 15-13. The same Los Gatos team that just lost 4 nights ago to Los Altos. And in Mountain View's first league match of the season, that came back in late September. Mountain View was defeated by arch rival St. Francis 15-11, 15-11, 15-5.
A match that many of our viewers at home who are being so kind to listen to their homes this evening saw on KMVT.
Interesting note for you regarding Mountain View just being 0-2. You figure they should have played 3 or 4 games right now. They should have. They had a September 26th game against Lynbrook, a home game that wound up being moved around and shifted. Now, October 17th, Mountain View will host Lynbrook, and that date, which was originally supposed to be the Lynbrook-Mountain View match at Lynbrook, has been moved back to November 2nd.
So you can't blame the rain in the Bronx for that one tonight.
The Chester F. Awalt, I hope I said that last name right. Awalt Memorial Gymnasium.
Well, Chester F. Awalt used to have more than the gym name for him here at Mountain View High School. He used to have the whole school name for him. This is the old Awalt High School where we are this evening. It's known as Mountain View High School since the mid-70s.
A house of horrors so far for Los Altos tonight. Mountain View has scored 10 of the 11 points in this game and 12 of the last 13 in the match. Here's a little looper dunk by Kristen Winters. And Los Altos gets the ball back, and let's see if they can score and keep it for more than 1 point. Down 1-10 here in game 2, and here's our left side server who enjoys switching sides. And an ace. An ace sent over to the broadcast position off the Mountain View touch. That is the first ace of the match for Los Altos. It is now 2-10.
And I ask you, Andre, why did you bring your glove tonight?
The volleyball's a little too big for my glove. Mountain View gets it back after 1 point. A good play by Courtney Rose. There you see Courtney getting high fives, and here's another look at it.
See right here, Courtney Rose, perfect timing again.
Another good set by Jody Antipus. We've been neglecting her name most of the time. We've mentioned her a few times, but she's doing a good job there as the setter. Doesn't get much recognition, but she does a good job. Another set by her there, and the shot is long. Side out Los Altos. She set that one for Melanie Eustace, number 7. There you see Melanie talking things over with her setter Antipus. Los Altos gets it back, down 2-10. Young freshman setter serving, Lisa Raiden. Antipus, her counterpart to Azaparty. That's a combination that's been working very well tonight. Punch shot just over. Raiden for Winters, and Winters knocks it down. Point Los Altos, 3-10.
That combination is going to have to work a lot more for Los Altos if they want to get back here in game 2 and, of course, get back in the match. They have to communicate well. They can't allow any errors. That's the key. No errors for the Eagles.
3-10. Antipus for the lefty, and Eustace's shot is saved. Here's Signs with a free ball. Antipus, and she double hit. Rare that that's called on the setter, George, but that time it was called on Jody.
I'll tell you, she didn't have her hands in sync, and I'll tell you something. Los Altos scores right here. Steven Stanislazo takes a timeout for Mountain View.
And an ace! Second one for Los Altos. 5-10 all of a sudden, a 4-0 run by the Eagles. And now, what does Spencer want this time? He wants a substitution.
So Mountain View is going to look for a little back row help right here. They go with Ronan Galapa. It's the first time we see Galapa tonight. But if you remember the St. Francis match, she saw a lot of back row time against the Lancers.
Rowan Gulapa. As a party. And Los Altos saves it. It's outside the antenna. And let's see. Yes, side out Mountain View. Mountain View got it back. That one went outside the antenna. And landed out of play.
But a nice little 3-0 run for the Eagles.
A 4-0 run, as a matter of fact, George, from 10-1 to 10-5. Courtney Rose going to serve. She's going to do so from the middle of the line, back line.
It's a new rule this year. You can serve from wherever you want.
Well, here we go again. Spencer thinking we're going to have a substitution. And Spencer sure stops the match a lot, doesn't he? At least tonight.
Delay of game.
So delay of game apparently is the call against the Spartans, an illegal substitution.
And that's going to cost them the ball. Los Altos will get it back. They will have a different server, but a chance to continue what is basically the same rally. Well, Mountain View got the ball back, and then an illegal substitution. You're all over it, George. That is the correct call. And because of the illegal substitution, you get delay of game, and you get the ball back over to Los Altos, and Kristen Winters is going to serve her team on a 4-0 run.
But not a 5-yard penalty, remember that.
Well, there's no yards. Imagine something like a 5-serve penalty, though. That would be vicious. Good bump save by Courtney Rose. Another bump over, this one by Eustace. Now Los Altos trying to get their act together. And they do get it together enough as Antipus and Azzopardi can't get to it. All of a sudden, 6-10, Los Altos right back in game 2. And not yet, George, is Coach S using either of his game 2 timeouts. Azzopardi drives it, saved, all the way back over, and Mountain View kills it. Good shot there by Chen.
That's why he doesn't need to use one of his timeouts. Quan Chen with very good timing. We'll take another look right here. Nice job for a player who's not too accustomed to playing up at the net, who finds herself up there, times everything perfectly, saves her coach a timeout.
In to serve, back in the game, Liz Farmer. A very clean serving match. Los Altos, no service errors. Mountain View 3. Los Altos with 2 aces. Mountain View with 1. Mountain View with a 1-game-to-none lead. Signs. Azzopardi. And Mountain View wants a touch call. They're not going to get it. Side out Los Altos.
You can see why they wanted it, because you're going to see the Eagles up towards the front right here. Let's take a look. If the ball bounces, nope, no touch. You got to look for the ball taking a quick little bounce, kind of like you're watching one of those children's musical videos. Now the captains are going to have a little talk with the official.
You saw a touch or you saw a touch?
You're watching Channel 6 KMVT,
Okay.
high school
You see a touch?
volleyball from
Okay, I'm not going to call a touch.
the Chester F. Awalt Memorial Gymnasium. Andre Pleasy along with George Devine, our producer director Lazarus Sargentini. We're in game 2.
When you're on the side of the net, it's very difficult.
Discussions
to see.
between Ken Jeffers, your head official right
Go
there,
immediately up and then go down.
and one of the Lions people.
She said she was
There was no touch. You saw the replay a few moments ago.
hard to see from over
You know,
Correct call was made.
when we go to those shots the officials share with the mic on, I'm waiting for somebody to say, Mr. McEnroe, resume play.
As long as they don't say anything forbidden. A double hit, an ace for Los Altos, their third. And it is now 7-10, 6 in a row run off by Los Altos, and wow. All of a sudden, Los Altos has turned game 2 around from 10-1 to 10-7. As a party to try and stop the run. No, saved by Los Altos. Raiden for Sign. Sign shot is long, no touch. And a side out Mountain View. They finally take it back. (10-7) the score. Mountain View serves. Sign shot in this time. Side out Los Altos.
Los Altos needs to get Becca Signs doing what she's going to do right here once they're serving. Nice job. Becca goes down the line. Spartans were expecting her to go across the floor. Does a nice job switching angles in midair.
Los Altos with a high serve. Into the net. And that is a point for Los Altos. It is now 10-9. And a timeout is granted to Steve Santanastasso in a 10-9 game. 2. What a rally by Los Altos.
I'll tell you, Los Altos, they might have needed a 1.5 wake-up call to get themselves ready in this one, but they're playing the same kind of volleyball right now that they beat Los Gatos and St. Francis with. If they keep it up, we're looking at a 1-1 match in a few minutes.
Los Altos was down here in game 2, 10-1. Paul Lyles has used both his timeouts, I believe, in getting his team together. And now he gets benefit of a third timeout because Mountain View has to call one after a 9-0 run, or an 8-0 run, I should say, that at this point is not over.
Now, the reason why Steve Santanastasso called the timeout is he's hoping to ice the heat that Los Altos is offering right now. Maybe he's even hoping to ice the heat that's coming in from outside.
Mountain View has not played at home in 10 days. Their last home match, a win against Wilcox. 2 tough away matches in the San Jose City Classic tournament. A drive by Leschuk and 4 hits anyway. And a point, we're tied 10-10. What a comeback by the Eagles.
And a big point right here. Big point coming up for Los Altos.
You know, that's the one thing you get in volleyball that you can only get in one other sport, basketball. Incredible runs like this. And Los Altos has the lead back on an ace. Their 4th ace of the match. This one to Liz Ripato, the sophomore, with a beautiful serve. They let it fall in for the ace. Antipas, Leschuk knocks it home. Mountain View gets the ball back side out and will try and end a 10-0 run that has Los Altos down 10-11.
I'm sure they'd like to post their own 5-0 run right here and close the door and take a 2-0 lead in the match.
A 10-0 run, unbelievable. Raiden for Signs, and Signs knocks it in off of Azaparty. Los Altos gets it right back, and now they're doing to Mountain View what Mountain View did to them. They are scoring at will, and they are taking it back from Mountain View anytime they get a side out.
And I'll tell you, Los Altos right now looking very invigorated, a lot of life in the Eagles. Becca Signs very enthusiastic, got a smile on her face, glad to be serving.
And a lot less substituting. Azaparty off the top of the net, it falls in. A break for Mountain View as Azaparty's shot floated off the net and in.
I'll tell you, a big break because Los Altos was playing back off the net. We'll take a look right here. They leave the porch basically vacant. They pay the price.
Mountain View to serve, 10-11, game 2. Mountain View with a 1-0 lead. Raiden for Winters. Winters shot saved by Mountain View, although it was tough. No, they can't get it over. They saved it at first, but then unable to get it over was Rose. The shot a little bit low, hit the top of the net. This time it didn't go over like it did last time. Side out Los Altos, and our left side server is back. That's Katie Harrington, who had an ace earlier on that wound up in the hands of yours truly. Love these courtside seats. I wish I could get them for Sharks games. A point for Los Altos. They are up 12-10, and this is Los Altos' biggest lead of either game, biggest lead of the match at any point, and they're only their second lead, as a matter of fact.
Biggest lead since Los Gatos the other night.
Leschuk. Was that touched? It is not touched. It hits the floor, and it is side out Mountain View. A good shot that time. And Leschuk will serve. Her team down 10-12. There you see the score in game 2. Los Altos in the middle of an 11-0 run. And there it is, it's over. The run is over after 11 straight points. It's now 11-12 as Mountain View with their second ace of the match. Here's Leschuk. Kept alive by the Spartans following the return. As a party, saved by Harrington. And a miss hit by Karen Tanaka. Point Mountain View, are tied again, 12-12.
Tanaka actually looped her hand over the ball and basically hit it backwards. She reached over the ball rather than getting right behind it.
12-12. 2 straight points off Leschuk's serve and a service error. Mountain View's fourth. And a 12-12 game 2 continues with Los Altos serving again. Chen and Tipas as a party. Winters up in the lights. As a party again, off the touch of Ripito and onto the floor. Side out Mountain View. We go back and forth now at 12-12.
Do we ever go back and forth? Situation right here where of the last, let's see, 8 points, make it 9 points, 7 have been for naught.
Raiden back set for Winters. She's dynamite, but that one's returned. Almost a lift. Mountain View having trouble saving it. And somebody went under the net, yes. A side out Los Altos as Mountain View went under the net on that shot. Here's Winters, she's played hard. Off the net, that is the first service error of the night for Los Altos.
Kristen Winters had a frustrating night. Gets a little more frustrating right there.
First service error of the night for Los Altos. And back-to-back service errors as Mountain View picks up their 5th.
It's contagious. Whatever it is, they should get a vaccine for it.
Karen Tanaka will serve for Los Altos, still 12-12 here, game 2. Is that one off the touch? We're waiting for the call. It is a point. And Los Altos takes the lead back, 13-12, 2 points away from stealing game 2. Boy, Mountain View looked like they were going to turn this into a 2-0 runaway. They were up 10-1. It's now 13-12. Off the roof. Mountain View keeps it alive. Signs saved by Leschuk. And Tipas, as a party, sends it over. Raiden for Signs. Leschuk says no. As a party dips it. Signs bumps it. Now Signs again. Too long. Is it off the touch? Wait a minute. Yes, it is. Point Los Altos. That one off the touch. Signs asked for it. She got it. And it's game point for Los Altos after being down 1-10, then being tied 12-12. It's now 14-12 in game 2. Here we go. Game point number 1 for Los Altos. And Paul Lyles has to sit down first.
The fasten seatbelt sign is on tonight.
Good low serve. Leschuk digs it out, and a good play. Oh, what a play by Jody Antipus to void off match point. Antipus surprised Los Altos with that left-hand shot.
Nice job right here. You're going to see it come up. The fake set. Jody Antipus with her sky hook.
Almost an ace. Saved by Los Altos. Antipus, by the way, doing that serve. Or actually was Azzopardi. Leschuk's shot is blocked, and Los Altos gets side out. Game point number 2 coming up at 14-12. Liz Ripito. Game point number 2 for Los Altos. They really scratched their way back in this one. Let's see if they can win it. That one's headed towards us. It's out of play. Point, game 2, Los Altos. 15-12 here in game 2. We're tied 1-1. Mountain View won game 1, 15-7. Los Altos wins game 2, 15-12. And in just a moment, game 3 on KMVT. There you see the scores, game 1 and game 2. 15-7 Mountain View, 15-12 Los Altos. And interestingly, if you want to look at the numbers that you thought might have meant something, 25 of the first 33 points were won by Mountain View. They won game 1, 15-7. Mountain View took a 10-1 lead in game 2. Los Altos stormed back with 11 in a row. Unbelievable. Los Altos evens the match, 1 game apiece. Game 3 set to begin. Andre Polizzi along with George Devine, our producer-director, Lazarus Sargenides.
Tell you, Lazarus has a tough job tonight. If you think it's hot in here, where do you get inside that production truck on a night like this? But he keeps cool. He does a good job.
Yes, good thing he has the fluids in there.
No buzzer, though, in there.
Well, we don't need that. That's the basketball scoreboard buzzer. There you see the instrument there on the lower left of your screen causing the problem.
Don't get me hungry, you know. This thing is going to go at least 4, and I had to cancel my dinner plans for tonight. Now you're getting me hungry.
My friend George, always thinking of his stomach.
There's Milo Lewis right there. We'll see him Friday night over at Foothill College. Los Gatos in town to play the Spartans of Mountain View, rematch of last year's CCS Division III title game. Long-awaited battle between these two ball clubs.
And in their last 15 games, Mountain View has won 13 times. The 2 losses?
Los Gatos.
Los Gatos, including the Division III championship last year, which at one point broke a streak of 8 wins in a row by Mountain View following a loss to Los Gatos.
And I'll tell you, with a win over the Wildcats Friday, and considering the weakness of the El Camino Division schedule coming up for Ray Calcagno and company, they could run the table.
Because he's pressuring them a lot. And they're saying that. Well,
take a look at the CCS football rankings. Oak Grove on top, Bellarmine, James Logan, a new one, but Mountain View down at 9. A chance to move up a little bit with a win over a team from the stronger De Anza division.
And do not count out Live Oak and Leland, both with losses, but to teams amongst the group there. And, oh, what a CCS playoffs this is going to be. And practically game 1 of the playoffs on Friday.
And never count out Midi. Never count out Midi.
Well, we'll see what happens after Midi plays St. Francis again. Mountain View starts it off with a side out as they get the shot down against Los Altos off of Liz Ripito. Los Altos serving to start game 3, but now they are on the other side. 1 game apiece. And as she has done in the first 2 games, Liz Farmer will serve first for Mountain View. Raiden for Signs. Missile out of bounds, no touch. Point Mountain View. Becca Signs saying, please. That was touched. Spencer says no. Paul Lyles says, where's the call? Paul Lyles standing up. This is going to get him in trouble. Has Paul Lyles seen yellow cards before? There's one now. Paul Lyles getting a yellow card up top. And that movement you just saw from our head ref, Ken Jeffers, was him putting the yellow card back in his pocket after showing it to Lyles. That is an ace and a point for Mountain View. It's now 2-0. And what a momentum changer this could be. A yellow card for Paul Lyles. Paul, no stranger to yellow cards. George will
I'll tell you what Paul
I want to hear
Lyles-
about that in a minute because I know you know that story a little better than me. But first, let's play this one out. Signs. Out again. 3-0 Mountain View. George, go ahead.
I'll tell you what Paul Lyles said to Ken Jeffers. He said it's the best call you've made all night.
Oh.
That's what he said to him. That's a stock line coaches use right out there. With I've seen better calls in a phone booth, but it's a stock line. And
I
that's
think
what he
Paul
said.
Lyles may start bringing his own yellow card, show it to himself, save Jeffers some trouble. A great block, and it's still alive. Los Altos saves it after the block. Wow. Bump, bump, bump. Los Altos gets it over. Here's Leschuk. Double hit, into the net. Point Mountain View. Los Altos into the net. Thought we had a double hit. Didn't matter, we were into the net. And now make it, we pointed the wrong way. Jeffers pointed the wrong way at first. Now it goes to Los Altos on a side out. No point, still 3-0. Missed. Antipa set it, and it was missed. There you see Annie Teep. She'd like to have that one back. 3-1 now our score. And it's out again, 2-3. Los Altos battling back, 2 in a row for them.
That's been the story all night for Los Altos, battling back. Aside from leading at the end of game 2, they really haven't had a chance where they've controlled the scoreboard.
Well, Los Altos down to a rotation of 6 and 7 players. They lift the call. That's on Mountain View. Point Los Altos. Now 3-3. 3-3. Los Altos and Mountain View. Los Altos 3 in a row. Paul Lyles relaxing a tiny bit. That won't last long. Raiden with the bump. Winters with the push. Antipas. Annie Teep with a little revenge, but Los Altos saved it. Another chance for Azaparty. Into the net. Didn't get it over. And a point for Los Altos. They have the lead. First time in game 3, 4-3.
How quickly the character of a game can change. A moment ago, 3-0 Mountain View. Now 4-3 Los Altos. The Eagles trying to keep it rolling.
Azaparty punches it. Raiden. Ripito sent that one over. Azaparty with a spike, and it is down. Side out Mountain View. Azaparty strikes again. There's Paul Lyles. Seeing his team's 4-0 run come to an end. Well, maybe not to an end if they can get the ball back and start scoring again. But to an end for now. Raiden, Signs, slam back at her. And a point for Mountain View. We're tied 4-4.
Signs didn't get enough on top of the ball right there. She got a little underneath it, and that's why they went back at her.
Into the net, side out Los Altos. That is the second service error for the Eagles. Los Altos serving. Ozzy Azatyar back in there. And service error. Side out Mountain View. That is the third service error for Los Altos. And for Mountain View, Annie Teep. A laser. Los Altos. Winters in the corner. Beautiful shot. Side out Los Altos.
Winters split the floor right there. Had the Spartans thinking she was coming inside, instead goes outside. You'll see what I mean right here. Watch the way Mountain View shifts towards the middle. The last second has to react outside.
Right in the corner. Looping serve by Signs. It is out. Service error number 4 on Los Altos. There you see Signs. A little disappointed with that one. 4-4 our score. We're in game 3, 1 game apiece. Everything's tied, including my shoes. Harrington. Push shot by Leschuk. Now Raiden for Winters, and Kristen Winters with a little push shot. And Los Altos gets it backside out. Kristen Winters here again, George.
I'll tell you, Kristen Winters has done some setting for the Eagles this year and has a nice touch on the ball. Right there, basically a setter's touch.
4-4, game 3. Leschuk, boom. And that one back here at the table again. And a side out for Mountain View. Christy Leschuk and Katie Azaparty getting the job done tonight for Mountain View. There's Leschuk. Raiden. Antipas for Azaparty, and it works again. A to A, Antipas to Azaparty, and they get an A on that play. It's 5-4 Mountain View.
And an A for Andre, too. But I'll tell you something, Andre just had a chance when the ball came over our way to actually touch the ball. They need to get a towel or something on it. It's awfully wet from all the sweat of all the players tonight. Very hard to handle, especially for the servers. I'm surprised the servers don't wipe it off at all. That's why we've seen some recent service errors.
Good rally here on this point. Both teams not really able to get a good attempt at a kill. Up in the rafters, and Winters over. Lefty shot long by Melanie Eustace. Side out Los Altos, 4 serving, 5, and a substitution for LA. As back in Liz Ripito, back out. Ozzy Izatyar. As you said, George, mostly a 7-person rotation. And in game 1 tonight, Lyle's mixed it up a little. Game 2 and 3, he hasn't. Signs. In the corner, that's in. Point Los Altos, 5-5. Boy, Becca Signs was just sending that over and nobody from Mountain View got it. It was in the corner. And Becca Signs showing one of the things that makes her so good.
Becca Signs sent a message right there. That's give me some respect.
A Becca bump again. Winters shot returned. Teams playing free ball. Winters again. Oh, a little too low on this one. And again, George, she got a little ahead of the ball, a little over it as you described it earlier, and side out Mountain View.
It's exactly what she did. Bad timing. Kristen Winters not having a resume match this evening.
A missile serve that time. Los Altos still trying to recover, and they're going to take it. Mountain View can't return the return. Side out Los Altos. 5-5, game 3, all knotted up, 1 game apiece. Azaparty. This one's way in the back of Los Altos. They'll never get it. Side out Mountain View, and that one went off the bump so deep, Los Altos had no chance.
I'll tell you, all hands go scrambling right there. Nice job by Mountain View of taking advantage of a confused crew for Los Altos. Get points any way you can in a match like this one.
Here's Liz Farmer, our leadoff batter in all 3 games for Mountain View.
I thought you were going to say the
served.
beer batter.
Another deep top position for Los Altos. This time they get it back. Azaparty. And the team's doing a good job of saving it. Azaparty again. Winters the save. In the net, Los Altos. And a point Mountain View. They take the lead back 6-5. They have led by as much as 3-0 here in game number 3. But we have been tied a lot also here in game 3. Farmer. Winters bump. Raiden set. Back to Winters from the back row. And she kills it. Oh, Winters from the middle of the back row. Punched that one in.
Nice job by Winters. This time she has her timing perfectly. You'll see right there, comes out of the back, proves to be a menace.
Los Altos on the side out serves. Mountain View to return it, and they get it home as Annie Teep again. Right in that hole in the middle. Annie Teep gets it backside out Mountain View. Katie Azaparty, 5'8" senior, middle blocker, outside hitter, having a great match. Another deep Mountain View serve. Raiden for Signs. Signs says in. Side out Los Altos.
Tell you, Becca Signs right there, patented play. Over on the left side, brought it across the floor, split the floor. That's the trick. Zatyar had a disappointing serve last time, trying to improve right here.
Zatyar. Antipas for Leschuk. Hammerham.
Christy Leschuk doing exactly what Becca Signs did. We'll take a look. Again, putting a lot on the ball and splitting the floor. Hard to play against.
Hammer home shot. 5'6", or 6'5", I should say. Mountain View is serving. Here's Signs. Dink too low. Didn't get it over. Mountain View was there to block it, and Signs distracted by that. Now 7-5 Mountain View, a 2-point lead in game 3. If you're just grabbing a piece of this broadcast right now, it's 1-1. A punch serve, that is close. And Ken Jeffers there to make the call. Looks like the right call, it's out. A service error for Mountain View, their 6th.
Now Becca Signs will serve for Paul Lyles. Didn't get a chance to see if Paul gave a thumb up or a hand down. Let's see if Becca jumps or stays on the ground. I think she's going to stay on the ground. That's what she does.
Leschuk hits that one too hard, no touch. Point Los Altos, it's 6-7. This one going back and forth.
As I mentioned earlier in the match, and for those of you just tuning in, Becca Signs, one of her new things in her repertoire is a jump serve. Not using it here, though.
Too hot. You keep doing that. Give me water. Leschuk shot off of Winters, and somehow Signs saved it. No, they call 4 hits. 4th hit charge to number 4, Signs. I don't know. Paul Lyles not happy with this one. Signs thinks she saved it. Lyles does too, and so do I.
I'd love to see a replay on this to see what that 4th hit was. It was a late call by Jim Spencer, the down official. Ken Jeffers, his whistle was a reactive whistle, not a proactive whistle. And we will get a chance to look on replay. 1, 2, 3. That was 3 hits.
They're human.
Where's that red flag for Paul Lyles to throw?
This is not preseason NFL.
And I'm glad about that.
Leschuk. Leschuk again! Back to back. Hammer home. And Leschuk having a great match as well. 8-6 now Mountain View. Into the net, service error, Mountain View number 7. And Los Altos will serve down 6-8. Leschuk gonna have to bail out her teammates on this one. It's long. Point Los Altos. It's now 7-8, and let's have another look.
Let's take a look right here. Christy Leschuk puts too much postage on it. It's always tough when you come out of the back, especially out of the corner. Didn't have a good look at it the whole way.
Los Altos trying to tie it up again here in game 3. Leschuk says no. Christy Leschuk gets the serve back for her team with yet another hammer shot. And she's having a great game 3 and a great match.
I'll tell you, Christy Leschuk, practice makes perfect. The first time she tried that a moment ago, didn't work. Second time is a charmer. And now she's serving, and she's a tough server.
Raiden, who's she setting that for? A lift. Nobody was there for that one. Raiden would have had to go get that one herself. Didn't matter, she lifted it anyway. And now Mountain View serving 9-7. Back and forth we go. As a party. Winters. Long, that's long, 10-7. Mountain View with a 3-point lead, ties their biggest of the match, and a timeout to Paul Lyles.
And I'll tell you, the 3-point lead, something to keep in mind, but that number 3 also looming large as we think back to that replay a moment ago when Mountain View benefited from Los Altos being called for 4 hits, and all of you saw it as Andre and I saw it, only 3. And if Paul Lyles could see that replay, the officials could see that replay, who knows what the outcome of this third game would be. But I don't think you're allowed to admit a videotape into a ball game because only about 1% of the million high school volleyball games in the country are ever televised.
In game 1, Mountain View had the biggest run, which was a 5-0 run. And they did that twice in game 1. 0-0 to 5-0 and 5-2 to 10-2. In game 2, Mountain View saw Los Altos have an 11-0 run. In game 3 so far, the biggest run has been a 4-point run by Los Altos. Mountain View looking to get a 3-0 run of their own right here in the net. Los Altos into the net, and Mountain View with a 3-0 run makes it 11-7, biggest lead of game 3. So Mountain View with Leschuk again, and here we go again. Spencer checking with the scoreboard operator, and yes, he has it right, 11-7, as do we. Here's Winters. Back near the line, is it in? It is out. No, it is in. Side out Los Altos.
Nice job by the Eagles of painting that back line. Just tucking it right in.
Barely in that time. Los Altos getting a much needed break in that was in, and they get the side out. Here we go, Leschuk with the bump. Winters off her side of the net, side out Mountain View as Winters again hit it too low, got on top of it. That's 4 or 5 times tonight that's happened.
Yeah, as I said earlier, Kristen Winters not having a resume evening, but she's recovered well from her mistakes. She's got to find a way to finish the evening on the recovery side.
Raiden back set for Winters. And Tipus for Azaparty, the AA combination at it again. LA saves it. The shot, that one is in. Mountain View celebrates the TP shot, and it's 12-7, a 5-point lead, biggest of game 3 for Mountain View.
Take a look right here. Nice job by Annie Teep, tucking it in the back line. Spartans on a nice little run.
12-7. Courtney Rose, her second straight serve. Signs. Winters in the corner. That is called in, it looks like. Yes, side out Los Altos. Another shot right in that corner of the Mountain View sideline.
I'll tell you a little Dave Trevecki volleyball coming up right here. Nice job painting down the sideline. Trevecki used to paint the corners like that with a baseball. It's the hardest thing to do.
Complaining about every call. The next one is going to cost.
Remind my coach not to complain.
If you heard what just happened on the sound audio, you can hear it there in the background. Ken Jeffers telling Mountain View captain Jody Antipus that if you guys keep complaining about the line calls, it's going to work against you seriously in terms of perhaps taking away a serve, perhaps taking away a side out, giving the ball to Los Altos. And so Mountain View's going to have to stop complaining whether they like the calls or not, because it's going to hurt them. Jeffers tired of listening to the Mountain View players, and this one is in, no doubt about it. Side out Mountain View, there will be no complaining about that one.
You know, nothing to complain about, especially if you're Steve Stananastaso. Nice job done by the Spartans, splitting the floor up, forcing the Eagles to go scrambling. Somebody doing their homework over there.
Did Mountain View serve that last ball? I don't believe they did. It should still be 12-7, shouldn't it? They have put up a point on the scoreboard. Scoreboard has 13-7 now.
And Farmer's on for the save.
Well, we'll go with what the scoreboard has in this time. This one is down and Los Altos a side out. And now they're changing the scoreboard back to what we have, 12-7. So forget that little skirmish. Scoreboard has had some troubles tonight keeping up with the score. But if you're watching us here on KMVT, enjoying the telecast, you've got the right score 99% of the time. And there's somebody who's a little bored, but a little young too. And Mountain View puts it home, side out. Mountain View again. Annie Teep finding that hole in the middle.
Nice job by Teep. She's been there all night, splitting the floor up, using her eyes, most importantly, using her brain.
Braden back to Becca. Leschuk, this one's too high for her. Didn't get the shot she wanted on that. Here's Signs again. Braden again. Signs one more time. Third time the charm. No. Mountain View keeps it alive. Gonna try Signs, number 4. Mountain View. Los Altos keeping it alive, barely. Oh, what a rally. Leschuk, she can't end the point. Here's Signs, number 5, and it's into the net. Signs had 5 chances on that. Mountain View returned 4 of them, and Signs' 5th one was too low.
I'll tell you, Becca Signs right there getting a little bit impatient. You can see why. Especially you got to wait 5 times to do this. 2 on top of the ball.
13-7 Mountain View. An ace! Mountain View's 3rd, and it gives them game point number 1 in game 3. Mountain View, around services, is on a 6-0 run and trying to wrap up game 3 in a 2-1 lead. Big point here. Winters free balls it over. It's long. No, it's saying Mountain View kept it in. Didn't risk it. Leschuk, saved by Los Altos, and a lift called. Mountain View wins game 3 on a lift. 2-1 Mountain View. 15-7, the same score they won game 1 by. 15-7, 12-15, 15-7, and a 2-1 lead for Mountain View. You're watching high school volleyball on KMVT. Game 4 coming your way next here at the Chester F. Awalt Memorial Gymnasium. Andre Plesy along with George Devine and our volleyball producer tonight, Lazarus Sargenides. Liz Farmer, our leadoff batter again for Mountain View. They lead 2-1, and between games 3 and now here 4, Paul Lyles telling his troops, if you guys want to go undefeated in league, you got to win this game and then win the next one after that.
It's now or never.
Los Altos 4-0 in league. Mountain View yet to win in league, 0-2. And the home team leads tonight, 2-1. Here we go, game 4. Liz Farmer serves to start it off. Harrington gets the ball for Los Altos side out. Harrington had her name called a number of times tonight, a junior. And Becca Signs will serve first for Los Altos in game number 4. Signs. Team sending it back and forth. As a party with a drive, that's off a touch. Side out Mountain View. That got the touch, I believe, of Harrington.
Again, untimely net play for Los Altos and a chance to let Mountain View close things out. One of their better servers, Katie Azaparty, behind the line.
Signs returns the Azaparty serve, and Mountain View can't get it back over after that. Side out Los Altos, the 3rd service change of this game.
I like Lisa Randon with that little fake set. Does a nice job with it. Harrington always tough from the left-hand corner.
She goes over there again. Here's Leschuk, and boom! Leschuk hammers it home again. She's done that so often, especially in game 3. She did it at least 4 times.
The best way to play Christy Leschuk is to spread the floor and not give her any open space. Right there, you see the shot. Katie Harrington gave her too much space to Harrington's left. Got half the court was unoccupied. Leschuk, a good geographer, found it.
Signs. Now Winters gets it over. Here's Leschuk again. Hammer time! Christy Leschuk, 2 plays in a row, finishes it off, and that's the first point of game 4. 1-0, and George, interesting, the 2 games Mountain View has won, they scored first. Los Altos won game 2, they scored first. One of their few leads here tonight. Mountain View up 1-0, game 4. Winters shot, it's in the corner. Jeffers says it's in, and side out Los Altos. Yet another shot in the Mountain View corner.
Winters did a good job right there hitting the target, painting the corner. Steve Sananastazzo trying to make some adjustments here on the fly to prevent it from happening again.
There to his right, your left, his assistant David Couch. Looper serve by Radin. Antipas for Leschuk again. Antipas Leschuk and Antipas Azzopardi have just been awesome in this match tonight.
I'll tell you, it's been a good matchup, a good combination, I should say, for Mountain View. Antipas doing a nice job feeding Leschuk on the far side. The only problem is now Leschuk rotates over to the near side on this service change.
1-0 Mountain View. And Winters says, hey, we ain't done yet. Side out, Los Altos, 0 serving 1. Los Altos needs this game to stay in the match. They're down 2 games to 1 and 1-0 in favor of Mountain View game 4.
Winters will not be called for travel after that.
Winters goes over to Harrington territory to serve. Leschuk again and dug out by Harrington. Nice dig. Signs saved. Signs number 2 into the net. Los Altos saves their own. Antipas for Leschuk. We've seen this before. And we've seen it again. Side out Mountain View. Los Altos can't stop Christy Leschuk tonight.
Each team went to their aircraft carrier right there. Leschuk, Becca Signs, Leschuk again, and finally Leschuk and Mountain View prevailing, and Leschuk will try to put some lead behind her serve.
All clean serving so far here in game 4. The lefty Melanie Eustace has a point for her team with the kill. 2-0 Mountain View. Melanie Eustace, there she is. Nothing Mountain View, game 4. Los Altos a little bit tired at this point. Signs his shot off the touch. Los Altos gets it back. 0 serving 2. There's Becca Signs. Anastasio saying, a little patience, a little patience. There's your game 4 score. And that's into the net on the serve by Tanaka. Service error number 5 for Los Altos, first of game 4.
It's a fellow right there, doesn't have a good reason to be nodding off. It's a good match.
Maybe his neck hurts, that's all. Here's Signs. And it goes down. Side out Los Altos. Becca Signs with the kill off the wrist of Azzopardi.
Take a look right here. Signs again, another patented shot for the side out. Signs doing a nice job splitting the floor. Just her team's got to be a little more consistent tonight.
Also off the hands of Eustace as they went up Azzopardi and Eustace to block it. Antipas. Eustace. Azzopardi, Signs. Here's Becca again. Los Altos better get it over, and Signs wins the battle at the net. Point Los Altos, they're on the board 1-2.
I'll tell you, Becca Signs, the quick little left hand right there for the point.
Becca can do it all. Los Altos trying to tie this one up. As a party, sends it over. Winters, Radin, back set for Harrington. Eustace tried to confuse Los Altos, and Los Altos recovered. Here's Signs, slams it home, a Signs slam. And it is 2-2.
Well, just as I said, Becca Signs has got to be consistent for Los Altos to be consistent. Very consistent so far in game 4, doing a nice job finding the open hardwood.
Stanastasio encouraging his team, which is tied 2-2 here in game 4, as you see the KMVT box providing the score. Two chances for Teep. First one was blocked back to her. Second one into the net. Point Los Altos. First lead of game 4, 3-2. Deep serve. Leschuk and Teepus as a party. A rare mishit off the AA combination that time. 4-2 Los Altos. They've sent off 4 straight points. We've seen some great runs tonight, and an important one right now in the middle of going for Los Altos. Another serve for Maria Saldana. Becca Signs blocks the shot by Teep. Point Los Altos, 5-2.
Tell you, Becca Signs very versatile, and right there stepping up with a well-timed block. I've said this before in tonight's match. Neither team with a definitive height advantage. Nobody has a Nikki Hartley on their club like St. Francis does. Has to be smart and timely blocking, not dominating blocking.
AA combo. Los Altos saves it. As a party, did they call her in the net? No, they called Los Altos into the net. Side out Mountain View. I thought they called as a party into the net or over the net that time. As a party got really high up right around the top of the net, but they said she stayed on her side. So Mountain View will get the side out. Los Altos has still scored 5 in a row, and Mountain View will try and stop that right here. They lead 2-1. Spencer coming over for another conversation. Lyles wanted to know if as a party had gone over as we thought she did.
Officials double checking things.
Well, Ken Jeffers, the highest man in the building, up there above the net, would have known.
And he doesn't have any glue in his pocket either.
He's got a yellow card, though, and he's shown it to Paul Lyles already in this match back in game 3. Signs again, and another winner. Becca Signs makes it 6-2. Or, excuse me, check that, it's a side out. Los Altos was on such a run that I thought they still were scoring. It is 5-2 Los Altos. Signs now serving. Punch loop serve. The AA combo. Saldana saved it. Winters, and now Harrington has to send it over. And Teepus as a party, and what do we have here? We have a lift. Jim Spencer, that guy's partner, Ken Jeffers, called a lift. And side out Mountain View, and Mountain View again dodges a 6th straight Los Altos point. As a party. An ace, that looked in. It is in, ace Mountain View, that is their 4th, and the run is over for Los Altos. It's now 3-5 Mountain View serving.
And I'll tell you, if as a party keeps it up and keeps serving like that, it'll be a real momentum swing here in game 4. Mountain View can start thinking about locking up the building and turning out the lights.
Los Altos thought that one was going to twist out. Winters, a tough one to return. Mountain View free-balling it. Harrington in the middle, saved by the Spartans. Leschuk in the middle, Signs can't grab it. Point Mountain View, 4-5 now. And a substitution for Los Altos. As back in is Ozzy Azatyar. And again to serve, Katie Azaparty. And here we go again with a substitution check at the table.
Making sure everybody's in the right place. Everybody who asked for a fruit plate got one. If you asked for a non-smoking seat, you get one. But one of those things you get in a fourth game like this, you don't want to have an oversight on the service rotation. You don't want to lose a serve like Mountain View did earlier tonight because you're out of rotation.
Now Spencer talking to Lyles, and apparently everything A-okay. A for Azaparty. Serve to Los Altos. Winters push. Leschuk's shot blocked for once. Winters another push, and Mountain View got a hand on that one to save it. A lot of hits here, but only 3. Thought we were gonna have 4 that time. Winters with a drive, that's in. Los Altos gets a side out, and wait a minute. Let's see if we're gonna have a call change here. That one looked good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now 13 subbed in 1 and 13 subbed in 5. Is that her 3?
If her name, her number shows on there 3 times, that's
it.
Can't
Okay.
show up a 4th time, no matter what.
Jim Spencer doesn't seem to be clear on all the rules. He seems to be asking Jeffers for a rule clarification on that last convo.
I'll tell you, if he keeps asking for clarifications, the coaches are going to ask for his head.
Now he's going and talking to Paul Lyles again after checking with the table and Jeffers. My goodness. Can I show him a yellow card? Leschuk. Oh, what a hammer. How did Los Altos save that one? Signs free balls. Leschuk another drive. This one's not coming back. Leschuk, bam, boom. Side out Mountain View. Leschuk can't believe her first one was returned. She hammered the second one home.
I'll tell you, Christy Leschuk and Becca Science, a couple of players wearing number 4, having a good joust tonight on the outside hitting.
Mountain View down 4-5 in game 4. They lead 2 games to 1. An ace. No, wait, did it touch the net? Yes, it did. An ace taken away. Instead, service error number 8 for Mountain View. Barely touched the net. Service error. Ken Jeffers had to feel for that one.
You hate to waste an ace. Try to send that fast 5
Well, you hate to have an error, period.
You hate to waste an ace.
5-4 Los Altos. They serve. Here's Leschuk. Touched, not returned. Side out Mountain View. Leschuk again. She's got to be in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 kills, at least.
I'll tell you, Becca Signs getting eaten up by Leschuk tonight, but Becca also doing a good job. But I'll tell you, Leschuk hard to handle. She's in the zone tonight.
Melanie Eustace back in. And again, that touches the net on the serve. Service error number 9, second in a row on service tries. Still 5-4 Los Altos, game 4. Los Altos on serve. This one headed towards us, Mountain View chasing. Mountain View almost into our side camera there. 6-4 in favor of Los Altos. They have led by as much as 5-2 in this game. They currently lead 6-4. Leschuk, this one's long. Point Los Altos, 7-4. And Leschuk, not perfect with that one, but man, it was hit so hard.
Well, I hope you didn't have a dinner reservation tonight, Andre. I think we're going 5.
Los Altos would like that. An ace, 8-4. Los Altos on fire right now. Coach S not yet using a timeout here in game 4. 5th ace for Los Altos, and there's the score. There's Coach S. Leschuk. Oh my! Christy Leschuk A lightning shot that time. Mountain View gets the ball back, 4-8.
This shot's got to be licensed by the FAA. Watch how fast it moves. Becca Sines had no chance to cover.
Off the roof, changes direction. Point Mountain View, and Spartans got a break as that one hit the roof off of the Los Altos bump and changed direction. LA was going to bump it again, but didn't get the chance.
An assist to the architect here at Chester F.A. Walt Memorial Gym. Paul Lyles is a pretty good architect at his gym, too.
Into the net. Mountain View service error. They're in double digits now with 10.
Take a look, and you see the rafters that come down over the floor.
The AWalt roof. Off the touch, ace. Point Los Altos, ace number 6. And Los Altos, a 9-5 lead, a timeout for Mountain View. And we'll stop play, 9-5 in favor of Los Altos in game 4. You're watching KMVT Channel 6. Game 4 continues, 9-5 Los Altos. Andre Polizzi, George Devine, Lazarus Sartanese, Jose and the gang on the camera crews. There you see the roof again of the AWalt Gymnasium.
We're looking for the gondola from the Astrodome that Lindsey Nelson once broadcast from.
Almost another ace. Mountain View just saved it, and then they hit it long. Los Altos scores again, 10-5, and George, you may be right. We may be going 5.
I'll tell you, Los Altos doing a nice job creeping back in the even-numbered games.
Los Altos on a 5 out of 6 scoring run. The only point in that stretch, a Mountain View ace. That one's long. Mountain View gets it backside out. And let's see if that timeout did Mountain View any good, if they can have a little service rally here of their own.
Courtney Rose, one of their better servers, set to go right here. Let's see if she can get it on the mark.
Rose with a line shot. Winters with a line shot, and that one is out. Point Mountain View. Thought somebody might have tapped it, but no. 6-10. Game 4. Mountain View serving, trailing by 4. Winters, Radin. Here comes Harrington. In the corner again. No, this one is out. Point Mountain View, 7-10. And I don't know who that fellow's rooting for, but it really doesn't matter as Paul Lyles again yet complaining. I think he wanted to touch, George.
Here comes the yellow card again. So Paul Lyles with a nice collection of disciplinary actions tonight.
Did he just get his second yellow?
Just got his second yellow.
My goodness. That was a quick flash from Ken Jeffers, I'll tell you. I didn't even see it. And I don't miss much. As a party, this one up in the lights. Los Altos free balls. Boom! Shakalaka Annie Teep. And Mountain View now at 8-10 and continuing to serve.
After the second yellow card, they have to have a couple of red cards, I believe, to throw somebody out in volleyball. That's why he hasn't been tossed yet. In soccer, it progresses. Red, then yellow, then red, then you take a shower.
Now Paul Lyles definitely flirting with disaster. But his team still with a 2-point lead, but trying to get the ball back. Mountain View struggling. Leschek with a hammer over. Harrington off the touch of Teep and onto the floor. Los Altos gets it back, leading 10-8 as Mountain View scores 3 points in a row and still on their streak, but at the moment they don't have the ball. And now a substitution again for Paul Lyles. There you see coming in Maria Saldana, who I don't believe played at all in the first 3 games and has played a little bit here in game 4.
And didn't play at all against St. Francis or Los Gatos either, so this is perhaps her first league action in a long time.
Liz Farmer back in as well for Mountain View. 10 serving 8, game 4. Los Altos 5 points away from game number 5. A drive, and Annie Teep gets her revenge 1 shot later. The last one went off of Teep's hands and onto the floor. This time, Teep shoots it back.
Take a look right here. Teep does a nice job. As I said, she's been well timed over the middle all night.
And Antipus again, combining in that with another great set. 8-10. Here we go. Signs. This one's saved. 4 hits, the call. Really, that play teetering on a poor shot by Azaparty. And Los Altos back at it again, 10-8, their lead. 5 points away from game 5, looking for league win 5. And a 5-0 record. Antipas, surprise! Side out Mountain View as Antipas, for the 3rd or 4th time in this match, gave that all set slam routine, where it looks like she's gonna set it, and then with the left hand, whoop, there it is.
A la Julie Yick, Los Gatos. Very good player at doing that in this league.
Harrington into the middle. Antipas got it. And now Antipas sends it over. Here's Signs with the bump. Raiden with the set for Winters. That thunder save. Now here's Leschuk. Signs grabs that. Winters again. Long outside. Point Mountain View. It's now 9-10. Mountain View on a 4-0 run, bridging a couple service games. And within 1 of tying up game 4.
And within 6 of sending us all home.
Winters doesn't want to see that happen. Wait a minute. Spencer blows his whistle, stops play, and gives Los Altos a side out. I believe we had double contact into the net. Left side server, that's Harrington. Who else could it be? Antipas, Leschuk. My God, she hit that hard. How can Los Altos save this one? Yes! Oh! Leschuk again, no way she's gonna get that one back at her. That's twice in the last 15 points, George, that Leschuk cannot believe she has had one returned and sends a missile that cannot be returned. There, look at that.
Tough to return. Becca Signs looking like a bug on the windshield trying to chase that.
You don't give Leschuk a second chance. She's gotten 2 second chances in the recent game, and both times she's buried it. And those first shots were good ones. A try for Tanaka and a beautiful dig on the other side by Chen. Into the net with the bump. Winters and Raiden can't believe it. We're tied. 10-10, game 4.
It's not the first time tonight we've been tied. Very good match here. Back and forth. Momentum right now belonging to Mountain View.
Chen out. Bad serve, too long. Service error 11 for Mountain View. They are averaging close to 3 a game. Los Altos making a change. And serving now, Lisa Raiden, just a freshman. Mucho potential for this kid. Leschuk shot, back at her. Here's another second try for Leschuk. And Los Altos can't return it. Los Altos fought like heck to return that one and looked like they were going to be able to do it. Instead, side out Mountain View.
And Antipas up to serve for the Spartans. One of the better servers that Steven Stanisestazo has on his ball club. And a familiar face coming back up front, that's Melanie Eusis. She's had a good match tonight, but a very quiet good match.
That one is out, side out Los Altos. Service error number 12 for Mountain View, 2 consecutive on service plays. And both teams 5 points away from game 5. Well, I should say Los Altos 5 points away from game 5. Mountain View 5 points away from going home with a victory. Antipas, Leschuk again. Off the roof, Los Altos adjusts and saves it. We've seen some great saves in this contest. Winters bump, Raiden for Signs. The Signs shot is out. Side out Mountain View. And sometimes players like Signs right there and Leschuk and Azaparty just hit it so hard it goes too long.
Speaking of long, our match now officially 2 hours old.
And there's an ace off the hands of Karen Tanaka. Ace number 5 for Mountain View. And a timeout coming to Los Altos. Mountain View an 11-10 lead. And in just a moment, more high school volleyball here on KMVT. Andre Polizzi and George Devine courtside, watching the match that those fans are enjoying here at Mountain View High School. George, Mountain View has run off 6 in a row over several service games, and they lead 11-10. I'll get your thoughts here on how this thing is tightening up in just a moment. First signs. Saved by Leschuk. As a party. Answered by Harrington. Here's signs again. Signs a third time. Signs a fourth time. Signs a fifth time? Yes. The issue not settled yet. As a party. She settles it, and it's touched. Point Mountain View. I thought that was out. It definitely was out, but it was out off the touch. Mountain View 3 points away, George.
I'll tell you, Los Altos right here playing it cautious. That's why it was touched on the far side by Winters. Anything close to the line, you got to play at this point if you're Los Altos.
Leschuk serves. Her club 3 points away. Winters. In or out? In. Los Altos gets it back, down by 2.
I'll tell you, you said courtside a moment ago, Andre. You could say ringside. These teams have fought hard tonight. Just when you think they're down for the count, they come back with a blockbuster punch.
The AA combo, and as a party shot off the roof. Winters bumps it over. Long bump. AA combo again. But Eustace touched the net. Or maybe Antipas, one of them into the net, either Eustace or Antipas. And Los Altos sneaks out a point. It's 11-12. Oh, a rare miss by Azaparty. She hasn't missed many tonight. And all of a sudden, we're 12-12 again. We were 12-12 at one point in game 2. That's a game, George. Los Altos won. Azaparty. Raiden. And it's in! A good shot by Ripito. Ripito, very few kills tonight. And another timeout, this one to Mountain View. Los Altos leads 13-12, and the action continues in a second. Well, they didn't wait for the full timeout to end this time, George. These teams want to play. Still 20 seconds left on the timeout timer. Azaparty, Winters, the Raiden Signs combo. Signs his shot, saved again. Azaparty blocked. Back on the Mountain View side. Azaparty free ball. Winters, Raiden, Signs, the big gun. Dinks it and scores! Well, Signs, tired of seeing her shots dug out, decided to change it up, and it's a strike. Game point for Los Altos. Here we go, 14-12. Los Altos, one serve, one shot away from a fifth game. Here we go, chance for Los Altos right here. And who better than Signs? It's long, no touch. No touch.
Neither of these teams surrendering tonight. Great match. Nobody is going to leave anything on this floor when it's over.
This is going to be a De Anza Division Classic. And you're getting to watch it here on KMVT Channel 6 Mountain View. And perhaps Signs should have let that one go, and she knows it. She thrusts her fist in frustration off her hands for an ace. For Mountain View, ace number 6, and it brings them within 1, 13-14 game 4.
Remember, you got to win by 2 in volleyball.
Los Altos having trouble with this one. Winters saves it. Eustace. And a bump over by Raiden. The AA combo, here it comes. Azaparty blocked! Oh, a big time block right there by Liz Ripito. Finally stopping Azaparty. Look at this roof.
And we'll see Ripito right there on the block, pop up, well timed. Now she serves.
Game point 2 for Los Altos to send it to number 5. Leschuk says not yet. Mountain View denies game point number 2. 13-14 still in game 4.
I'll tell you, Leschuk, a player who steps up at the right times. Galapa coming on for service help right here for Eustace. And Galapa, somebody who's a pretty good server.
We haven't seen her much in the last 2 games. 5'3" junior defensive specialist. And Los Altos having trouble. They have to get it over on this shot. They do. Good side bump. That one's going to be long. Did it get touched? No. Side out Los Altos. I was pretty sure it didn't get touched, but with Spencer over there tonight, you just don't know.
Now Becca Sines to serve. She'll keep it on the ground, but work the corner. We haven't seen her do this tonight.
Game point number 3 for LA. As a party sends it over. Raiden. Harrington, no. Bump, bump, bump. 3 bumps, it's over. As a party again. Saved. Bump number 2. Winters for the win, no. As a party. Good rally here on game point 3 for LA. Winters for the end of the game. Close call. Out. Out is the call. And Los Altos denied game 4 again for the moment.
I'll tell you right there, Los Altos thought it was down. It just missed. It just missed.
Great work by our camera crew tonight, led by Jose. Good job, guys.
Yeah, we have all of a sudden silence in here.
Jim Spencer going again. Checking with the new lines person. This lines person did not lines crew the first 3 games of this match. She replaced one of the
A big service error.
And a service error number 13 for Mountain View. They have 6 aces. And for Los Altos, game point number 4, their left side server. There she is, all by herself, Katie Harrington. Can Los Altos send it to game 5? Signs bump, Raiden bump. Leschuk, a missile, knocked back out off the bump. Game point 4 taken away.
The Spartans huddle up right here, and they're probably talking about what Leschuk just did and say, Christy, give us 4 more or give us 3 more for the win. Remember, you got to win by 2. They're going to go with Quan Chen to serve, a good back row player as well.
Quinn, 5'8" junior. Winters almost got the ball back for her team, but it was saved. Winters free ball. Leschuk a chance. It's in. We're tied 14-14, game 4. Wow.
Leschuk's been getting the number right all night. Right there, knocks it down, and the officials having another word with each other. But it's quickly ended.
Los Altos has had 4 game points on serve since taking a 14-12 lead. And a timeout called by Paul Lyles. 14-14 here in game 4, and the action just continues here on KMVT. 14-14, Mountain View to serve. Chen, missile. Winters dunk, perfect. Nobody home. Winters saw that, took advantage of it, got the ball back. 14-14, Los Altos side out.
Remember, this is not a game point because you have to win by 2.
They've had 4. This will be a service play. And again, the scoreboard having trouble deciding whether to put up another point, but it was clearly a side out. Mountain View clearly served that last point attempt. Leschuk. Here she gets another chance, blocked at her. Los Altos has another game point coming up. They get to 15, George, but after Mountain View gets back to 14.
I'll tell you right now, Mountain View playing back. They're not going to give anything up on the long end of things. Raiden can try to drop one in.
Game point number 5 for Los Altos to send it to game 5. Leschuk, not yet. No way, Jose. Side out Mountain View, 14-15. Game point number 5. Yet another one denied.
I'll tell you, you call Leschuk's name, she delivers results.
Kolpna Mystery in there. We've seen very little of her. One of the freshest players on the court. Has to be. A poor bump that time by Los Altos. Almost cost them. They save it. Almost 15-15. Leschuk to try and make it so. She does. We're tied again. 15-15 in game 4. And Mountain View now 2 points away. 2 consecutive points away, to be even more specific, from a match. The miss hit by Karen Tanaka sets up match point.
I'll tell you right here, Los Altos is going to take their final timeout, and we will as well.
Yes, we will stop play also. 16-15 here in game 4, and the action continues on KMVT. Things change quickly. 16-15 Mountain View, match point number 1. Signs bump. Raiden. Winter saves it for now. And Los Altos lives. A good block, so to speak, that time from Liz Ripito. There she is. And Los Altos gets side out, down 15-16 in game 4. Match point number 1 taken away from Mountain View. LA's had 5 game points in this game, and they haven't converted. Leschuk push shot. It's on the Los Altos side of the net right now. Chen. Leschuk off the block. Mountain View gets it back. Game point, match point number 2.
And Leschuk to serve. Let's see if she can put on her serve what she's put on her kills from the outside tonight. Might be thinking ace if she can do that.
That would end it. Match point 2. Raiden. Los Altos lives again for the moment. Long free ball. Los Altos survives as Courtney Rose put way too much on that one off her fist. 15-16. Los Altos has survived 2 match points. Chen bump off the serve, almost an ace. Los Altos trying to tie. Almost a double hit. Signs. Whammo! We're tied again, 16-16. Becca Signs a big-time kill. 16-16, George.
I'll tell you, Steve Stananastasio feeling a lot older than he looks right now. He's not the only one. It's been a long match and a tough match.
Off the serve, not returned. A couple of bad punches on that one in Los Altos. And here we go again, more controversy. At the moment, 17-16, Los Altos following that point.
Now Mountain View is going to spend a timeout right here trying to ice the game point for Los Altos.
Well, let's talk about this, George. 17-16, Los Altos setting up for game point number 6. What can they do differently? I mean, is it all Mountain View just playing well? What has been the cause of stopping 5 game points?
Well, I'll tell you, it's just a matter, it's a combination of unforced errors, and I'll tell you the big thing tonight has been the play of Christy Leschuk for Mountain View. Every time Mountain View needed a side out, she somehow produced. She got a key dig, she got a key kill, she did something. Nice play by Antipas as well. Antipas setting people up, putting them in situations to succeed. and not letting Los Altos force a game 5 yet. But they could force it now.
What a volleyball match. 2 games to 1 Mountain View. Game point number 6 in game 4 for Los Altos. They've turned away 2 match points as well. Winters, not yet. The AA combo. Los Altos saves, Winters sends it over. Azaparty, off the touch, still alive, Los Altos. Signs bumps it. Into the back row, Leschuk. Antipas to Azaparty, palm shot saved. Signs for game 5, yes! Game 4 to Los Altos, 18-16, twice in game 4. Becca Signs came out with a kill on a little hand slap when Mountain View wasn't expecting it. There you see the scores in games 1 through 4. We're tied 2-2, and game 5, it's going to be crazy. And we'll continue with volleyball action here on KMVT in a second.
I want to talk to team captain.
Los Altos has survived game 4. They've won game 4, 18-16. They've won the toss that we had during the break and will serve first in game 5. Ken Jeffers called the team captains over. And there you see the De Anza division standings. That Los Altos 4-0 in jeopardy on numerous occasions in this match. Down 2 games to 1, down to match point number 1, match point number 2. Several game point opportunities. And a couple of zeros in jeopardy. Los Altos' perfect record and Mountain View's winless in league play.
I'll tell you, Mountain View, one of the better 0-2 conference teams you'll find, but the De Anza division, always a tough party to go to. Always.
Andre Polizzi, George Devine at Mountain View High School's Chester A. Walt Memorial Gymnasium, and here we go. Game 5, normal scoring, by the way, if you're wondering. Can only score on serve, and Winters gets the first one off the touch. 1-0 Los Altos, and George, game 4, Mountain View jumped out to a 1-0 lead. It was the first time the first team to score did not win a game.
Well, Los Altos hoping it's not an omen for game 5.
1-0, Los Altos, 2 games each. And a mistake by Azaparty, a rare mistake. We've seen her make a couple tonight, but she's had so many good plays that have outnumbered him. But look here real quickly, 2-0 Los Altos. This is Los Altos' biggest early game lead yet. Before that, it was 1-0 in game 2, their biggest early game lead. And this one is down. The Spartans finally get a first serve, and of course, Liz Farmer will perform that chore.
And Farmer right now trying to reverse that momentum, which Los Altos is trying to carry over from game 4. Eagles hoping it's a 1-and-out serve.
Off the net, service error, Mountain View's 14. Los Altos has just 5, each team with 6 aces in this contest. Mostly clean serving in this contest. A missile fired by Winters, and a shot long. No touch, point Los Altos. George, 3-0 LA.
I'll tell you, LA is a team very capable of getting a good run, especially with Becca Signs on the outside where she is right now in the rotation.
I got a comment to that. Mountain View, by the way, suddenly looks tired. Azaparty has her shot kept in play. And Signs with a slam, but saved at the last moment by Leschuk. Mountain View recovers. Los Altos sets up shop again, and a drive save by Mountain View. No, they don't save it. Los Altos, a 4-0 run to start game 5. No stoppage in play yet. Coach S, Steven Santanastaso, keeps play moving. 4-0 Los Altos. An ace! Los Altos, ace number 7, and a 5-0 lead. Los Altos, I was going to comment, had an 11-0 run in game 2.
Very capable of doing it again here in game 5.
Which is what you were just saying. Here's Signs to try and contribute. Just over Signs, her teammates save it. They can't stop that one. Wait a minute.
Go to play.
Ken Jeffers says no. Take the play. The right call made first time. No change in the call. Side out, Mountain View down 0-5.
That time the block didn't work for Teep, but Los Altos called into the net.
Well, that's a break for Mountain View.
Huge break, because Teep was out of position on the block, but Los Altos somehow found the twine.
And it is now 1-5. The 5-0 run comes to an end. And Mountain View with a very important point. This is the first time, by the way, since 1-0 that Los Altos has led overall in the match. They've been behind in games the whole way. And in points in the lead game. Side out Los Altos as that one is stomped home. 5 serving 1. Karen Tanaka Jr. to serve. Back shot Tanaka serving. Signs got up there and kept Antipus from dunking it. Antipus set for Leschuk. This laser is touched and on the floor. Side out Mountain View.
The big side out right here, because Mountain View down 5-1, wants to stop some momentum generated by Los Altos. They bring on one of their better servers right here in Quan Shan. Remember, Quan was brought on for back row help back when Los Altos had a game point the first time around in game 4.
Chen with a good serve. Now here's Signs. Whammo! Becca Signs. We're going to get a quick substitution here as Los Altos takes side out.
And we'll take a look here on the replay. Signs patented down the line, forcing Mountain View to their weak side, and now Azatyar on to serve.
Leschuk blocked! Los Altos strikes again. It's a 5-point lead again. 6-1 Los Altos.
I'll tell you, Becca Signs and Katie Harrington show why it's very important to block Leschuk at the net, because she's tough to play out of a dig. If you can block her at the net, you grab her on the recovery, tough to defend against.
Leschuk, kaboom.
That's why she's tough on the dig. Right there, Ozzy Azatyar can tell you all about it.
Side out Mountain View, substitution as the lefty comes back in, Melanie Eustace, replacing Liz Farmer. And to serve, setter Jody Antipus. And here we go again. Jim Spencer wants to discuss substitutions again.
Remind that line she has that yellow all the way down. She didn't make a call on that. I want to call. It was in, but I wanted to make a call.
You just heard that as headlines Ken Jeffers reminding the lines person.
We're on at least our third different set of lines people tonight, and I've made this point before. They should have Firmar officials in the white uniform like Jim Spencer and Ken Jeffers working the lines. I mean, if they can finance 5 officials for football, they can find 4 for volleyball. They can find that money in the budget.
Certainly, especially if you can have a Title IX type incident in high school. That's an issue right there. Los Altos racks it again.
Well, the schools will tell you that there's Title IX. Look at this, where you've got 9th graders taking turns on the lines. I can tell you there isn't Title IX equity in this.
I'll tell you this, though. It's not worth it to the 9th graders. All they get out of it is stress and heartache and everything, especially when it's your team that you have to call against.
Had a couple instances this year, not a good position to be in.
We've seen lines people go off crying after being yelled at. It's just something that needs to be changed.
Seen announcers go off crying too.
Well, okay, there's our editorial for tonight. Let's get off of that. You know the point. I know the point. Fans out there know the point. Here's Winters. Up in the rafters. Leschuk trying to get her team a side out. Radin, set dunk. Is she in the net? 4 hits is the call. Wow. Big call right there. And we're going to have a timeout on the floor. George, we're at 7. Well, check that, still 6-1. And Los Altos with a big lead here in game 5. They really have not led in this match. Mountain View took control of game 1, went on to win game 1, and then Los Altos came back to take game 2. Mountain View took the first lead in game 3, and they had some lead changes in there, not too many. And Mountain View had to come back and take game 3, and Los Altos took game 4, and those fans aren't that excited at the moment, but they've watched one hell of a match tonight.
I'll tell you, they get their money's worth and more here this evening. Hey, look at the correct score. It's 7-1. Los Altos, and Becca Symes trying to extend that lead. Perhaps we'll see the jump serve here. She likes that left-hand corner following Katie Harrington's lead.
So the scoring checked at the table, checked on your monitor, and 7-1 comes out of the chute following that timeout as they talked it over and got it straightened out. Les Chuck with a hard shot, they returned it. And here's a second chance for her. No, it's gonna be Eustace. Now Les Chuck with a hammer, and Signs got to it. Let's see if they can get it over. That's gonna be 4 hits. Mountain View gets a side out, and Signs and Winters almost got it back over, just not enough oomph.
Used too much floor right there to accomplish what they were trying to do. Tough server right here.
Les Chuck with a bullet, and it's out, an ace.
I think she heard me, Andre.
Ace number 8, nope, check that. Ace number 7 for Mountain View. Each team with 7 aces now. And Los Altos' lead cut to 7-2. Looper serve. Winters, the dink defensed. And Azapartes got the point on a little dink of her own. It's now 3-7. All of a sudden, 2 straight points for MV. On the Les Chuck serves, 1 an ace. Here we go again, 3-7. Harrington averts the mistake. And a mistake there by the Spartans, 4 hits. Side out Los Altos. Mountain View perhaps distracted by Los Altos, just averting a double hit mistake by Harrington and getting it over. Speaking of Harrington, here she is for a serve. Katie with a low bullet. Back set for Eustace. Pumped by Harrington. Back set Winters, back line. The call is out, side out Mountain View. There you see our lines person for games 4 and 5 on that side. We had another girl that worked the first 3. The other girl on the other side has worked all 5. Hats off to her. A beautiful shot that time. Winters sends it down, side out Los Altos.
Winters again splitting the floor, much like Becca Signs can do on the far side. Worked a good angle right there. She seems to have regained herself from the problems she was having earlier with her timing, and now ready to serve.
Did you see Winters' shirt on that last camera shot? It is soaked, as is Liz Ripato's. And you can't tell as much with the Mountain View's players' shirts because they're wearing black color, but both teams' shirts are soaked. Both teams free balling. The AA combo. And a side out Mountain View. And there you go, Kristen Winters.
You don't get sweatier than that right there.
(3-7) Mountain View serving. Mountain View's favorite server, Liz Farmer, back there. Trying to set the tone for a comeback in game 5. This team has had 2 match points. Farmer can't reach this one. Off the touch, side out Los Altos, and Mountain View not getting a chance to come back because Los Altos keeps taking the ball away every time they get a service play.
And now Winters will get a chance to serve right here. He's got to concentrate like those folks are doing.
Watching pretty intently. Azapartes' shot is out. That is a point Los Altos. It is now 8-3.
Los Altos needs to put together a run right here, secure the premises tonight.
They can walk out with this one if they do so. Into the net, service error 6 for Los Altos, averaging a little more than 1 per game. Mountain View looking to go to 15-5. Los Altos trying to win number 13. against 4 losses. Los Altos trying to preserve a perfect league record, and Signs wants it as bad as anybody. The shot, is that in? Close call here again. We're waiting. Jeffers says side out Los Altos. So it is out.
Takes less time to get a pizza some nights.
They had to go to 3 or 4 opinions on that one. At least 3. Here's Leschuk. Almost into the net. Signs off the touch, almost a double hit. This player's getting a little bit tired. Under the net for Signs, side out Mountain View, and a little bit ragged play on that point. And when you've been going at it for between 2 hours and 20 minutes to 2.5 hours or so, you get that way. Especially
Right.
Los Altos with the less limited rotation.
Right now at 2:41 and counting.
2 what?
2:41.
Oh, a little higher than even I thought. That one falls down on the Los Altos side. Point Mountain View, 4-8. Game 5.
9 of the last points scored right here. Looking at the service column, 9 of the last 11 unconverted.
We've seen that before too in this match. Signs. Leschuk blocked. Miscommunication, and Mountain View saves it, and it works. Oh, they got a point on a bump as Mountain View just trying to save the ball. Got it over, and there was nobody home, 5-8.
Neither of these teams wants to quit. Mountain View on a run right here, picking up 2 points to climb back in this thing. Paul Lyles now forced to spend a timeout. He doesn't like what he's seeing. So I'll tell you, Los Altos was starting to run away with this 5th game, but it broke down for them. I'll tell you what they got to do, Andre, is they got to find a way to get Becca Signs involved on the outside. Kristen Winters has got to minimize her mistakes. Maybe Lisa Radin sneaks a couple of fake sets over the net if they get down for points.
There you see our lines person, one of the junior varsity players for Los Altos. As a matter of fact, we do have her name. Her name is, I hope I'm saying this right, I'm going to try. Bahara Ramatia. That may be wrong, Ramahatia, something like that. But anyway, let's give some credit to her. She has been on the line for all 4+ games, and there is a look at Bahara. I think that's how you say her name. If I'm saying it wrong, my apologies.
I'm just glad she doesn't play for Steven San Anastasio. Imagine that.
She will probably be playing on the Los Altos varsity next year, and we'll have to learn her name and go ask her. But for now, she's working the lines and done a heck of a job, survived all 4.5 games, and nobody's been yelling at her either. She's made all the calls and hasn't flinched.
Maybe she can join Fermar next year.
Here we go, service error on the return from the timeout. Service error number 15 against Mountain View. They're now averaging 3 per game.
Was Jose Offerman playing for the Spartans tonight?
8-5 Los Altos. Leschuk off the touch, so far saved. This is going to be trouble. They get it over. Leschuk another chance. This time they save her second chance. Signs. Wow, that was hit hard and they saved it. Radin again. Signs again. Long. That's out. Signs just hit it hard and it went the distance. The distance being over the line. There you see Becca, who's fought to play really great in this match and has come up very good.
Yeah, Becca forced a bad angle right there.
5-8 the score. Mountain View back on serve. Substitution, lefty back, Melanie Eustace. Serving Antipas. Winters. Mid-court bump. Antipas again. And Leschuk with the kill. Point, Mountain View 6-8, a 3-0 run amongst the last service games for Mountain View.
Tell you, this has been a match of runs tonight. Los Altos hoping they got one left in them. Mountain View hoping they can run this one the length of the table.
They'd love that. The Mountain View fans would love that. Signs into the net with the shot. Point, Mountain View, we're 7-8. Mountain View serving, down 1, and Signs has missed a couple in the last couple of points. But A little fatigue ain't gonna stop her from playing. Fatigue definitely setting in on both sides. Antipas. Bump City, here we go. That is in. That is in, unbelievable. Antipas just pooched it and it fell in. Look at this. Here's a little palm pooch, in. We're tied 8-8. Unbelievable match. I was waiting on a coach to call another timeout. Bad bump by Signs. She is very fatigued at this point. That's just not a good bump at all. And it's 9-8 Mountain View with their first lead in game 5. A 5-6-0 run, as a matter of fact. Another bad bump. Winters recovers it. Eustace for Leschuk, blocked! Big time block by Harrington to postpone the run for now, and Los Altos gets service game back. 8-9, look at this block, boom.
Great block by Harrington, perfectly timed. You know, Harrington out on the floor, she's not that big, only 5'9". Does a good job, she plays 6'3" a lot of the times.
Leschuk answers, saved. Harrington again, no. Winters again, yes. No for Harrington, yes for Winters. Point for Los Altos, 9-9 for your scoreboard. There's no, there's yes. And if Steve Santanastaso has seen a better game playing on the beach, I wasn't there. Leschuk, too hard for Signs that time. Side out Mountain View at 9-9.
Tell you, a big point coming up right here because you got Leschuk about to serve, and you look at Los Altos, they put 4 on the back line. They expect a bullet.
Big hole there on the upper front line right side, and they send it onto the left. Winters again, 2 in a row. Side out Los Altos. Winters with 2 kills, 1 on a point before the last side out, and then to get the side out back for her own team, Harrington, our friend, the left side server, will serve here at 9-9. Another scoreboard malfunction, but they're adjusting it and we'll continue play. There's the correct score, courtesy of our truck. Into the roof. Mountain View's got to recover right here. They do. Raiden. Winters, 3 in a row? No. At least not yet. Azaparty with the dink. Azaparty gets it back side out, still at 9-9. Los Altos on their last point 2 service games ago. There you see the pooch. Ended a 6-0 Mountain View run. We've been tied 9-9 the last 4 service games. Paul Lyles, tired of getting yellow cards, tired of being told to sit down, sitting down and enjoying a very tight match and a wonderful match to call and enjoy and watch. Azaparty, it's in again. 3 times in this game, Azaparty and Antipas have pooched it with their palm, and all 3 times it's gone in on the side. Look at it again. Oh, they must practice that. That almost looked out. That was the closest of the 3.
Tell you, nice job right there, tucking it inside the line. Good court sense.
Mountain View 10, Los Altos 9, game 5. There will be no game 6. Point again, no return. 11-9 Mountain View, and Mountain View 4 points away from victory. And a Los Altos substitution. Harrington gets a blow, and Chen returns.
Going for a little back row help right here on both sides.
Sorry, I said Chen returns. That's the Mountain View 8. I meant Saldana. Maria Saldana returns. 11-9 Mountain View. Dink, is that touched? It's outside the antenna. Point Mountain View. It doesn't matter whether it was touched or not. It was outside the antenna. Timeout in favor of Los Altos. And it is 12-9, and Lyles used his last timeout right there, I believe.
I'll tell you, Paul Lyles can do nothing to stop this the rest of the way. And I'll tell you, Mountain View on a great run right here. wasn't too long ago. It was 7-1 Los Altos.
While we have this opportunity, we want to take this opportunity to thank a couple of people. Thanks to all the camera people, and thanks to assistant coach David Couch, and of course head coach Steve Santanastaso. I'm going to get that right before the night's over.
Santo Nastazo. That's okay, Andre, because a couple weeks ago, Brian and I stumbled on it plenty of times.
So thanks to him for helping us out with some information, and thanks to the Mountain View staff here as well. Thanks to all the camera people and our producer director, Lazarus Sargenides, Jose, and Wayne and Ron. And thanks, of course, as always, to Laz. And thanks to those fans for coming out tonight and watching one of the great Santa Clara Valley De Anza Division matches in recent memory. It's not over yet, though. 12-9 Mountain View on serve. What does Los Altos have left in their bag? Winter's shot returned, 13-9. Mountain View's run 4 in a row. Paul Lyles out of timeouts. And Mountain View on serve, 2 points away from a victory. They've already had 2 match points. They lost them both in game 4. Will they get another chance at match point here in game number 5? Tanaka, they're trying to return her shot. They got to do it right here. They do. Raiden for Winters. Can she come up big again? It's bumped. Winters another chance. Too hard, too long. It's 14-9. Game point, Mountain View. Number 1 game point in game 5. Match point number 3. George's watch says we're over the 2-hour 50-minute mark. Match point number 3. Los Altos still alive. They got to get it over right here. Signs does. Los Altos has come so far. Match! The Spartans win it 15-9 in game 5 in an incredible match. 2 hours and 53 minutes of match play time. Final scores in this one: 15-7, 12-15, 15-7, 18-16, and 15-9. Mountain View with a 6-0 run to end the match, and an incredible game 5, game 4, and an incredible match, George Devine.
I'll tell you, this one right here had the feel of a postseason match once we got into the second game tonight. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of clubs out there who do real well playing in weaker leagues, but both of these teams have benefited from playing the better teams in this league. I'm sure Mountain View's happy to get their first win, also happy to get quality match play. I'm sure they're looking forward to Los Gatos and St. Francis the second time around.
Mountain View goes to 15-5, 1-2 in league. Los Altos drops to 12-5, their first league loss. They're 4-1 in league play. A great match here tonight at the Chester F.A. Walt Memorial Gymnasium. Thanks to everybody for their help, and Andre Polizzi for George Devine. Thanks for joining us. You've been watching high school volleyball here on KMVT Channel 6.